Chapter 321, War Song. Find Zhang. Close black lens bracket. Death in the hands of real soldiers, they have nothing to be resigned to, but they can die in the hands of some ordinary people, old farmers, and how to think of how they feel wronged. This is simply a shame. Unfortunately, no matter how unwilling it is useless. They are dead. It was under these shovel hoes that the ordinary people did not put in their eyes at all. Surely, there is the cultivation of the second realm of Shanghai realm as strength. The 12 seriousness in the body has begun to open up, and a few of them have been opened. Is this still ordinary people? It's amazing. Everyone is a soldier. Even the people can do it, and they can have the power of a monk. This is incredible. No village has ever been able to do this. There is no fear of Gongfa warfare, so it leaked. Quote, in this Xuanwang town, even an ordinary people dare to shoot at aliens, even killing alien soldiers directly. Even they have this courage, why don't we have it? If I continue to stand here today, what face will go out to meet people in the future? Count me alone. You can't kill outside the city temporarily, then kill the aliens in the town first. Do you think we have no humans? If you watch these people being slaughtered, I don't have to continue to practice after that. Even if it is cultivation, it doesn't make any sense. Quote, on the wall, a foreign monk saw the people's counterattacks in the town, and shocked one by one in his heart. Then he gave out a strong war, and uttered a roar, without any hesitation, quickly rushed down the wall and headed scorpion people kill it. Fu Hongxue walked down the city wall, only to see the sound of a crisp long knife coming out of the sheath. The blade was still inserted in the sheath. A scorpion warrior who could stand in front of him was cut in half by the soundlessly. Splitting a knife, you can only see the knife light, but you can't see the blade leaving the scabbard. It is not because the knife is not pulled, but the speed of pulling the knife is too fast, so fast that it is impossible to catch it with your eyes. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps. The sound of the long knife coming out of the sheath kept ringing. But still can see that the knife in his hand is always hidden in the scabbard. I can't see it pulled out at all, but alive, a scorpion warrior died in succession. Splitting from it, blood stained the ground. Step on the ground, leaving footprints. His target is impressively a scorpion. Want to kill me? The scorpion felt for the first time that a sharp knife intended to lock himself in, and that feeling, his hair was going to stand upright, and a chill was born naturally. Instinctively looked at it and fell on Fu Hongxue at a glance. The killing intention made his face extremely ugly. Instinct feels a powerful threat. Underground, there are still a large number of Scorpion army troops emerging continuously. The people in the town, even if they were cultivating themselves, could still face casualties from the cold and ruthless alien army. Someone was punctured through the chest by the scorpion tail behind him, and died instantly under the poison. There is death under the sword. But no one flinched. Everyone knew that in the face of aliens, there was no room for escape. Either you died or I died. This is war. Blade shield defense, pikemen attack, archers shoot freely. Yang Yanding looked at the many people who had been slain with the army of the Scorpion clan around him, and saw the death of many people under the slaughter of the alien, with red blood in his eyes. These were the people they vowed to protect. Intentionally shot, but surrounded by a large number of aliens. Can only be killed by military formations. Every time an extra alien is killed, the danger to the people in the town is reduced by 1 point. At this moment, suddenly, a high-pitched drum of war sounded. Throughout Xuanwang town, echoed throughout the battlefield. The sound of drums of war contained true energy, sweeping the 4 sides, as if roaring directly in his mind. Some monks looked up. On the city wall, you can clearly see that in front of a huge war drum cast from the skin of the beast and the skeleton, Yi Tianxing suddenly held 2 drumsticks, raised his arms, waved the drumsticks, and beat them on the war drums. This drum of war is inherently filled with a vast killing air. Swept the world. Battle, battle, battle. There were sounds of battle in Yi Tianxing's mouth. The war was soaring, and a black hair fluttered wildly behind his head. The 3 battle sounds, like a thunder in the dark, passed directly to everyone's mind. The body almost instinctively emerged from the blood with a bloody, fighting spirit. Tianlei is the drum and the earth is the tomb. The wilderness is fierce, the alien is mad, and the human race is indestructible from ancient times. The head can be broken, the blood can flow, the iron bones loyal to Kyushu. 99 holding a steel knife, don't break the vow of aliens. In the sound of the drums of war, a long howling soared into the sky, flying on the battlefield, echoing in the mind, word by word, containing the monstrous warfare, making people feel as if they are in the vast earth and thoroughly experience the endless journey. A tragic battlefield. A common person, a soldier, naturally emerged in the hearts of the trials experienced in these timeless continents. How the human race was hunted by ferocious beasts in the wilderness, slaughtered by other races, and buried in countless bones. Countless compatriots died of death and became blood food. Human beings are weak, and their bodies are incomparable with alien beasts, but the human race will not perish there. If there is no way, then use flesh and blood to create a way. If there is no home, then build a home with bones. The human race is insultable. Terrans are not afraid of war. Fighting for a scrape, what a terrible alien is. If you want to kill me, then I will slaughter you. Human races will never be pigs and sheep. Human races are still eligible to live in this world. Hearing the song of war, whether it was on the city wall or in the town, the people, the soldiers, and even all monks felt that a powerful war was emerging in their bodies. The thought of trying desperately with the aliens flashed wildly. As soon as it appeared, it took root in the heart, sprouted, and could no longer be shaken. Battle, battle, battle. A burst of chi and blood in my body rushed into my head without vomiting. A large number of commoners and soldiers issued a sound of war. Tianlei is the drum and the earth is the tomb. The wilderness is fierce, the alien is mad, and the human race is indestructible from ancient times. The head can be broken, the blood can flow, the iron bones loyal to Kyushu. 99 holding a steel knife, don't break the vow of aliens. In the sounds of battle songs, everyone's eyes started to turn red. Some people felt that the power in their bodies seemed to surge suddenly. Suddenly there was endless power. A ***** went down and flew out an alien. The burst of warfare is so strong that the potential and strength in each person are fully stimulated. Unstoppable in an instant, without being aware of this, many aliens were killed somehow on the spot. The ***** breath enveloped the void. Damn it, it turned out that the will of war and morale were completely stimulated. If an army can inspire morale, the outbreak of combat power can be multiplied and skyrocketed. The intent of war can bless their repair power in an effort the combat power has skyrocketed. Quote. The scorpion saw that he could not help secretly cursing. In the war song, all human spirits seem to have changed fundamentally. This change has brought about a surge in combat power. Kill, kill, kill. The drums of battle in Yi Tianxing's hands were even more exhilarating. Ferocious beasts, strong aliens, men hold swords, swords are decapitated swords, and guns are killing guns. Regardless of god and demon, the slaughter is me. Qianzhou immortal industry, white bones stain the sky. For my people, I would like to slaughter millions of spirits. Life is a hero, and death is a ghost, so I will not destroy the soul and fight for the world. Abandon the name of 1,000 years of benevolence today, drink the blood of thousands of ethnic groups, step on the bones of the bones, and be weak and do not go with me today, kill the enemy with millions of hearts without punishment. Rather ask the ethnic groups to cut their teeth to hate, and not teach them to scold our enemy. In the song of war, killing is mad, and the turbulent mass of human blood begins to boil, and the blood in the body is excited. Kill, kill, kill. Countless monks made killing noises in the sky. The blood was red. Ferocious beasts, strong aliens, men hold swords, swords are decapitated swords, and guns are killing guns. Regardless of god and demon, the slaughter is me. Sentences of battle echoed on the battlefield, and a large number of people, soldiers, and roars frantically, while singing, they waved weapons unceremoniously and slaughtered with aliens. In the strong killing intention, the war intention, gathered like a tide like battle in the singing, even the aliens couldn't help but be overwhelmed by the whole momentum and be suppressed on the spot. There was a pause in the arm with the sword. Inspiring morale and warfare with the song of war, so that all people have the blood to fight against the enemy, no fear of the people, no fear of death, there is nothing terrible. This is like scattered sand, gathered into a flood, into a monstrous beast. Unstoppable. Quote. Middle-aged Jia saw a flash of glory in his eyes. Motivated morale and warfare. The fighting power of all people and soldiers can be said to be doubled on the spot. This increase is quite scary. Good guy, even this boy has an urge to wait for his immediate shot. It is really enough. The emptiness boy's arms began to tremble, muttering to himself. Come, come, come. Yi Tianxing drummed again and again. My go, my spear, the people's fat, the people's ointment. My robes, my people give them to the people. I have my shield, www.novelhall.com, made by the people and made by the people. My brother, the people and the people. Using this as an army to fight the riots for the people. Civil rights and benefits are guaranteed for me. People, enemies and thieves, drink my sword. Keep the soil and protect the people, remember the mission. It is difficult to deceive the heavens, and the army soul will shine. Death fight, word by word, echoing in the void. Death fight, death fight. The eyes of a famous soldier were determined. Their duty was to protect the people and their homes. Now facing the enemy, there is only a dead war and no choice. This is their duty. Even if they die, they must die in the fight with the enemy. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to start vote. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users please read. Closing parenthesis. Chapter 322, Destiny. Fighting all over the sky. At coup at JWWW. Bikehuge, info. Converged on the battlefield and turned into indestructible. The war intentions converge and pervade the entire battlefield. This kind of warfare, like the same invisible force, makes all people and soldiers in the battlefield feel involuntarily a blessing of power. Warfare soars into the sky. The warfare can be blessed by the generals and the people, so that the combat power in the body has multiplied. I did not expect that the warfare would have such a wonderful effect. Sure enough, the world is full of too many unknown, waiting for us to discover. Quote. But Lu Shi's eyes of hope could see the warfare filled in the void. After converging together, they turned into auras and fell on each of the people and the soldiers. Although everyone is only shrouded in a war aura, with this war aura in hand, when the shots are fired, almost all of the power that erupts is skyrocketing in different degrees, which is a multiplying increase. This was not thought of before. In the battles of ancient people, the strength of an army were often observed through its overall morale. A peasant army, if its morale is as good as rainbow, it will be like a bamboo shoot. Even if it is facing the regular army, it can fight directly. It can even win the battle, quite powerful and amazing. That is morale encouragement, its own power explodes, and its potential surges. Otherwise, in ancient times, how could the peasant army that had been cut through defeated the regular army? The gap in momentum can open up the distance in strength. Today, not to mention, almost everyone in the town has a cultivation practice, and all of them are monks. With this increase, the outbreak of combat power is very terrible, and they fought together with the Scorpion army. Come and go. Moreover, the people in the town are not without weapons. Before the war, Yi Tianxing had already prepared various weapons and put them in wooden boxes. Once the war broke out, the people in the town could collect various weapons directly from the wooden boxes, which contain swords and swords. Even a large number of runes. However, compared with other weapons, many people are more familiar with the objects they usually use. They do not receive weapons and instead use a shovel to scratch their heads, which often has a more amazing effect. Looks pretty weird. The song of war was mad, and the sound of drums of war echoed in the sky like a thunder. Howl. In the empty space, Jin Peng made a sharp scream. I only saw that in the course of the follow-up of the Tyrannosaurus, Jin Peng can be said to have become extremely miserable. The golden feathers continued to fall, and the body was torn with large and small wounds. Startling. The original **** was completely gone. Replaced by Canly, but the puppet on his body did not fade at all. Of course, various wounds also appeared on the function pterosaur killed by Jin Peng. In the case of a fire magic tower always locked, it not only failed to kill Jin Peng, but was entangled with the magic tower and Jin Peng. One after another suffered damage. In the eyes, it can be described as shame and anger. The fighting intent in the void turned Jin Peng into the same. And in the moment of warfare, there was a sudden bang in Jin Peng's body, and then, a stream of golden light shot out like a tide. A wave of golden gold was roaring, tearing the void, and in the golden light, the golden feather pupae that had originally dropped during the slaughter regrown at a speed visible to the naked eye, one by one. In the blink of an eye, it spreads all over the body, and the whole body passes up and down, conveying a pound of blood. The entire body constantly collided in the golden light, and the flesh grew rapidly. In itself, it has reached the first order and 9 grades, and fiercely slaughtered with function pterosaur. The blood in the body kept rolling and reached a critical point. And then, there was warfare, like the last straw that crushed the camel, and completely broke the barriers in the realm. Chi and blood erupted. Breaking into the second-order realm. The flesh exudes powerful phagocytosis. The vitality of the surrounding world poured into the body like a tide. Melted into the flesh and blood, a pure chi and blood are derived. These blood and blood support the transformation of the flesh. Like a balloon inflated, the body grew rapidly. In just a few breaths, it swelled to over 100 meters. Open your wings like a cloud covering the sky. The golden light that emerged from the feather puppets was richer than before, and the blood in the body was a bit richer than before, making the body's powerful pressure even more amazing. Jinpeng, promoted to second order first grade. Although there is still a gap with function pterosaur in size. But in momentum, there was nothing inferior. Even more aggressive, each golden feather pupa is like a sharp sword, constantly devouring its sharp edges, and it is born with a king-like momentum. Witnessing Jinpeng's metamorphosis, function pterosaur's two eyes suddenly became dignified, and that gaze had completely regarded it as a real opponent. It is no longer just a dispensable obstacle. From Yi Tianxing, a strong threat has been felt. That's the breath of death. Really felt that once he fought, Jinpeng had a powerful strength that could kill himself. Such an opponent will die if it is not taken seriously. Feeling this, function pterosaur no longer wanted to break through the blockade and kill Xuanwang town, all his attention was focused on Jinpeng. Looking at the golden body, which was only one circle smaller than himself, with ferocious and murderous eyes in his eyes. Jinpeng is not an ordinary second-order fierce beast, but a king in the second order. This kind of king is not a state of cultivation, but a kind of bloodline rank, born with honor, in the same rank, has the ability to fight across the ranks, has the powerful combat power to suppress the same rank. It is also the king of the second order. Relative to the king, function pterosaur king's intention to kill Jinpeng can no longer be hidden. As a king, you are born with the ability to order many fierce birds, but once two kings appear at the same time, it is not a friend, it is a dead enemy. Dividing birth and death can kill his true majesty. On the function pterosaur, there is a serious breath, and its nature is arrogant. Before, even if there were many violent birds, in fact, in the heart, there was no such thing as violent birds. Even if it was controlled by Kai Chin's harp, it was only a shameful annoyance in her heart, and she was also disdainful for Jinpeng. But now, it has to be serious. A good song of war, the strength of a song of war, enough to reach hundreds of thousands of troops. In the song of war, inherently has a power to inspire human blood, awaken the warlike heart in the human race from the blood. Fearless. Inside, it also has the unique charm of the owner of Yi Tianxing one town. Changing another person may not inspire such a strong war. Quote. Jia surnamed in his middle age murmured. Looking at Yi Tianxing's eyes became even more satisfied. However, this scene completely made all foreign troops feel a kind of anger. It was clearly felt that the forces erupting in the hands of the Terran soldiers directly increased. The arrows fired were even more terrifying. Let all the aliens feel a flood of pressure sweeping across. Damn, it can inspire such a strong war. None of these races can stay, and all of them must die. In this song of war, there is deep resentment against us aliens. It is no longer you or me. You must to break this town. Quote. Frost Jackal King's eyes and pupils contracted violently, and a hint of chill came into his heart secretly. To death, the human race should obey us as blood. The two-headed ogre also roared. Carrying the mace, without hesitation, began to move. This movement immediately saw the huge body running fast on the ground. Every step on the ground, the whole ground was shaking, leaving huge footprints. Shoot! On the wall, a famous archer pointed his arrow at the two-headed ogre. Each arrow of war broke through the void like lightning, as fast as lightning. As dense as rain, the two-headed ogre was completely covered at once. Drink! The two-headed ogre kept on his feet and strode forward. Looking at the rune arrows that were sweeping towards him, his face showed disdain, one of his skulls sang loudly towards the front, and then opened the mouth of the blood basin full of fangs. This one, however, looks extremely scary. That mouth, several times, dozens of times magnified, turned into a huge mouth. After opening, it looks like a huge black hole. Swallow the battle arrows that swept the front. After swallowing it, the big mouth was restored. Following this, a mouthful of stale air was emitted. Red and blue, it seemed that Mars could be seen by his mouth. Sure enough, the two-headed ogre grinned and grinned. He ate all those runes. Is there anything wrong? www.novelhall.com. These amulets, any of them, have the destructive power to kill the level of the Sea of God. But he swallowed it. How can his mouth become so big? This is not an ordinary mouth. Quote, this should be some kind of powerful magical power. It can suddenly open its mouth to dozens of times and hundreds of times. It swallows all the attacks, and it has not been damaged in any way. What's going on? On the wall, many people saw that they couldn't help taking a breath on the spot. At first glance, the power revealed by this two-headed ogre makes a secret shock. Even the arrows fired can be swallowed without mercy. This ability is really cruel. It is absolutely impossible for this supernatural power to devour all attacks without restriction, it is just that those runes have not reached his limit. Huang Chengyan said, his eyes fixed, and he said flatly. Fate eat heaven. Once practiced to the extreme, this magical power can be swallowed even by the sky. Feeding on all things in heaven and earth, everything will be his food, and nothing will not be eaten. Chapter 323, Black Light Death. To the two-headed ogre, this destiny is simply the most perfect destiny. Pen Fund Pavilion www. Bizuge. Info allows him to eat and eat unscrupulously. Keep eating, you can eat anything. Moreover, you can taste a variety of different flavors. Even metals and ore can taste, such as red copper ore. When you eat it, feels like you are eating chicken. Quack, the amulet just now is cool and delicious, and it tastes very good. Shoot again. Without any hesitation, a famous archer pulled the bow and arrow again, and shot out the impertinent maggot in his hand. And this time, not only the rune arrows, but also the crossbow arrows issued by the Shenji crossbow. Before the dense far surpassing, the power contained was stronger, and it was filled with a strong infuriating energy. Make it more destructive. Good to eat. The two-headed ogre opened his mouth again, swallowing the arrow rain that swept the sky, and swallowed it again. That picture looks terrible. There was even a sigh of praise in his mouth. An aftertaste. Interesting, really dare to eat anything. Throw rune bombs. Yi Tianxing lowered the drumstick in his hand, his eyes were deep, and he ordered it flatly. Throw. Give an order. Black rune bombs have been quickly thrown out. The two-headed ogre saw it, but had no intention of avoiding it, and once again opened his mouth and swallowed forward. Eating imported. Bang bang. In this swallow, you can even hear the violent explosion sound in that mouth, flickering with firelight, and a rune bomb gathering together and exploding at the same time. The destructive force is extremely terrifying. A top Shanghai realm will be blown into pieces. But the two-headed ogre put their mouths together. As you can see, the mouth seemed a little crooked, and drool was flowing around the corners of the mouth. No, it wasn't saliva. There was nothing wrong with blood. But the intensive rune bomb turned out to bleed some blood from the corner of his mouth. It tastes good, but it's spicy. The two-headed ogre didn't care, grinned, but his eyes grew colder. Before he knew it, he was quickly approaching the wall. It is less than 100 meters from the city wall. In his body shape, I was afraid that without a few breaths, he would be able to kill directly under the city wall and launch an attack on the city wall. His body size was very large. Once he shot, the city wall might collapse completely. It's just a wall, and you want to stop me? The two-headed ogre sneered, striding forward. If you want to die, then I will complete you, my tribe, don't despise it. I really think that your aliens can run wild between heaven and earth. Today, you will use your flesh and blood to make my Xuanwang town's huge name. And never dare to insult my people. Quote. Yi Tianxing looked coldly at the two-headed ogre, and responded politely. Yin and Yang cut, kill. A pair of black and white scissors appeared instantly over the battlefield. On this pair of scissors, you can even clearly see that there are tiny dragon scales appearing densely on it. If you can see two black and white shrines sleeping. Expensive. The yin and yang clips flashed with light, turning into two dragons in the void. One black and one white, the dragon has a strong power of yin and yang. This yin and yang power can be felt clearly. You can see the two dragons groaning. The black and white dragons cut through the sky at an amazing speed. The dragon's body moved at a speed several times faster than the previous time in the python, interlaced with each other. When the space was broken, you can see that the black and white divine light was flashing. In the blink of an eye, it appeared in front of the two-headed ogre. Fast enough to the naked eye to catch. At the moment of appearance, even the two-headed ogre felt a horror. A strong sense of death was clearly felt from the two black and white dragons. This feeling is very strong. What is this, Xiaolong? I'm going to eat you. The two-headed ogre was startled, but did not hesitate to respond. Between the mouths, the whole mouth was enlarged again, and turned into a huge blood basin mouth. fiercely swallowed the black and white dragons that swept across. Like a huge black hole, it conveys a strong engulfing power and seems to devour everything. It's kind of naive to want to swallow my yin-yang scissors. Yi Tianxing saw a sneer when he saw it. Today's yin and yang scissors are not the same as before. A trip to the tomb of the Immortal has directly transformed from the Huang rank to the Zan rank supernatural power. This transformation can be said to be a fundamental transformation. The power is as strong as the difference between heaven and earth. At the time of Huang Jia, there may still be a chance to be swallowed, which can reach the Zan Jia magical power, or the real killing magical power, delusion to swallow it. It is definitely trying to die, delusional. The yin and yang tails blend together, and the black and white match is innately cast. Male and female staggered fortune, Shaoyan yin and yang cut in one. In the void, there seemed to be two mysterious heavenly sounds echoing. Click. The black and white dragons were cut across the big mouth of the blood basin, and they clicked, and they saw that the open mouth was cut out in a strange light of yin and yang like a world-breaking ground. Blood shines. Ah, my head. The two-headed ogre screamed, and the huge blood basin disappeared with a big mouthful. All I saw was that one of the heads on the neck of the two-headed ogre was cut from it, and even the brain could be seen. Completely broken. Showing a terrible picture. It's impossible to describe the astonishing sharpness of any scissors. If it weren't for the two-headed ogre with two heads, I'm afraid that this pair of scissors could kill them completely. Killed in one hit. Awesome magical powers, even my magical powers can be broken. It really is powerful, but you can't kill me. I am an immortal body. The two-headed ogre sneered, and a burst of blood appeared on his body. In the light, the cut head grows again at a speed that is visible to the naked eye, and it grows again in the blink of an eye. Recovery is before. It looks pretty weird. If you can't kill it once, then I will kill it again. Yi Tianxing frowned slightly, and then re-attacked without hesitation. The yin and yang scissors reappeared in the void, turning into two black and white dragons, and the dragons swept across the sky, once again swept over towards the two-headed ogre. This time, it was faster and appeared in front of the body at a speed unobservable by the naked eye. The demon cut back. Click. The yin-yang scissors are cut directly at their waists. But there was a flash of divine light, only to see that a cricket bone armor was derived from its flesh and blood, on which a variety of lifelike monsters emerged. Looks unusually stingy. A thick layer of precious light appeared. The yin and yang clipped on it and made a crisp sound, but there was no way to break the armor. Even the sharp edge of the yin and yang scissors could not be broken, but the warframe was cut into a crack. But there is no way to tear it completely. Huh, miracles, how can you break open my bone armor? Break. The ogre Yangtian sneered, stepped out, and had already come under the city wall. His huge mace was beaten directly on the wall. Rumble. There were runes on the city walls, and these runes shone with golden light and turned into layers of shields. But they were shattered under the mace. Constantly broken into pieces. Hit the wall firmly. The force of terror erupted from the mace. A large wall was shaking violently. Seems to collapse in an instant. If there were not a large number of vines growing in the wall would be extremely tough. I'm just afraid of this blow, and the city wall will be crushed to pieces on the spot. No, this two-headed ogre is so powerful. If he continues to attack the wall will certainly collapse. Retreat, push away to both sides, use bows and arrows, magic crossbow, shoot him to death. All the people on the wall attacked by the ogre quickly avoided the side, and at the same time, a large number of bows, arrows, and crossbows shot in lightning. Unfortunately, these attacks, the two-headed ogre didn't care, fell on the body, and could not even break the defense of the armor. Boom, 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 the mace smashed against the wall. The wall violently slammed and shook constantly. Numerous cracks spread quickly around. It spreads extremely fast. Dead. A cold voice came out of Yi Tianxing's mouth. When the voice fell, I only saw that in the void, a strange ancient mirror emerged, one black and one white. Rotating in midair, the yin and yang atmosphere changed. A black light burst out from the ancient mirror, shrouded towards the two-headed ogre. What is this? The ogre could not help but exclaim when he saw it. It was too late to escape, and the body was instantly shrouded in that black light. At the moment of being shrouded, the ogre felt a strong cold coming out of the body without warning. This chill is passed directly from the soul. In an instant, it spread to the entire body. Not good. A thought came into the ogre's heart. I immediately felt that the vitality in my body was rapidly dissipating. www.novelhall.com There was no response, the huge body fell instinctively towards the ground. He died, with no vitality, and fell to the ground without warning. Killed on the spot. How could this be? This is an alien powerhouse. Even if it doesn't reach the fate of life, it is definitely the top powerhouse at the level of Shanghai. With amazing talent, how can it suddenly die? It's that ancient mirror. A black light just came out of the ancient mirror, and then the two-headed ogre died. What is this, magical power or strange treasure? Many people are still thinking about how to deal with the two-headed ogre, but they don't expect that he will die in the presence of a black light. The death is silent, and the most important thing is that it is difficult to die. No. The magical powers of the yin and yang mirrors in the Xuanji realm did not disappoint me. In the same level, there is no special magical powers that absolutely cannot resist the power of the yin and yang mirrors. Even the leader of the ogre, he will die. Yi Tianxing said secretly, looking at the corpse that had fallen to the ground coldly. Chapter 324, Shot Empty. Welcome you, please remember the address of this site. Mobile phone reading, so that you can always read the latest chapter of the novel, Eternal Kingdom. Yin-Yang Mirror is a top anti-celestial supernatural power. It has great power. As long as it is exposed, you can control life and death and decide death instantly. As long as you cultivate to the realm, you cannot exceed the scope of Yin-Yang Mirror, and you cannot exceed Yi Tianxing itself. Too many levels above the realm. Without the magical treasures that suppress the spirits and souls, they are almost reflected by the yin and yang mirrors, and it is almost impossible to escape the end of death. The yin-yang mirror already contains the power of a law of life and death of yin-yang. It's not that when it shines, the soul will perish. Instead, it will be completely sealed by the true soul of its body by the pure power of death in the mirror of yin and yang. The soul is completely banned, and even the connection between the soul and the flesh is cut off. Without the support of the flesh, all vitality in the soul dissipates naturally, and it is replaced by the cold and cold breath of death. The power of death will completely tear its soul into pieces. Prior to this, in this process, it can even be said that at the beginning, there was no death. Only with the passage of time, the soul will be completely broken, and real death falls. In general, as long as the souls that are reflected by the yin and yang mirrors are not scattered on the spot, they can be resurrected again with the yin and yang mirrors, dying with black faces, and then relighting with the white faces, so that the dying under the yin and yang mirrors can be let resurrected. Of course, this needs to be within a certain time limit, otherwise, the soul in the body has disappeared, or even the soul is gone, then don't try to resurrect it. It's like now, if Yi Tianxing is willing, the two-headed ogre lying on the ground can completely revive him and come back to life. However, this kind of thing Yi Tianxing will never do. Alien, as long as it is the enemy, then dead is really a good alien. Alive, all it. However, although the yin and yang mirror is overbearing, it is also costly to display. If someone is fast enough, he can completely avoid the divine light emitted by the yin and yang mirror. Without being illuminated by the divine light, it is impossible to let him die. No, how could the leader die? This is not true. The leader died in the hands of mankind, broke through the city, and avenged the leader. Kill, you must not let these humans go. The pictures of two-headed ogres falling to the ground instantly made a lot of anger appear in the hearts of a large number of ogres, one by one, blood red, roaring, and howling. Fall into a madness. Kill, kill, kill. Ogres no longer have any reason. They only have one idea in mind: to kill all the humans in front of them, to kill them all, and to avenge the leader. Spear. The Frost Jackal King saw the two-headed ogre fall so strangely on the ground, completely falling, and a horror was revealed in his eyes. He opened his mouth and uttered a drink. A famous jackal werewolf pulled out a short flying spear from the back. These flying spears held in their hands, naturally delivered a fierce gas. Shoot. With a decree, each flying spear penetrated the void like lightning and bombarded it towards the city wall. The speed was extremely fast, and each flying spear contained a sharp edge. You can hear a sharp cracking sound from the air. Hundreds and thousands of flying spears swept across, covering the sky like a dark cloud. Shield. The soldiers on the wall reacted in the first place, with shields standing up and blocking them. On the shield, the light flashed and the golden light flowed, turning into a powerful defense. The flying spear bombarded the shield, and the golden light on the shield continued to flash, and it was uncertain, but it never broke. But at this moment, all I heard was a very sharp blasting sound. I only saw that an ice blue flying spear broke like lightning. Everywhere I went, ice crystals began to condense in the air, and even snowflakes floated out. Strange ice crystals are condensed, and you can see the ancient texture from above, crystal clear like glazed. Boom! As soon as the war spear waved out, it quickly appeared on the wall, bombarding like lightning towards a shield. Then a terrible picture appeared. I only saw that under the ice spear, the golden light emerging from the shield seemed to be a fragile bubble, broken at the speed with the naked eye. A soldier standing behind the shield was too late to react, and was penetrated by the spear. At the moment of being penetrated, a layer of ice crystals appeared at the speed visible to the naked eye. The entire body was frozen on the spot and turned into an ice sculpture. The force in the flying spear smashed to the ground, and the whole body was just like an ice cube, torn apart. Completely broken, the horrible chill escaped in all directions, so that everyone nearby felt a strong chill. Good domineering spear, not only has a strong penetrating power, but also contains the horrific ice power. On the wall, many monks change their faces on the spot. Even shields can penetrate, and its destructive power is naturally quite amazing. You and other aliens violated Xuanwang town and killed my people. Huang Chengyan witnessed, took a step forward, looked at the frost jackal wolf, and opened his mouth to stop drinking. Brush. A white light flickered, only to see that a white ancient sword shot from the tip of the tongue. When he came to the frost jackal king, he slashed it with a sword and beheaded him on the spot. In the ancient sword, I can feel a strong spirit of righteousness, faintly, with the general situation of heaven and earth. It seems that the power of heaven and earth is converging on the ancient sword. A sword is cut out, like a horse training. Confucianism and Taoism fate, kill. The frost jackal king saw it and wanted it. He waved his hand and seized a war spear, and the flying spear immediately flew out, hitting the ancient sword like a streamer. Ding! In a huge roar, I only saw that the flying spear collapsed on the spot, and the ancient sword also collapsed and flew out in the void. On the ancient sword, you can see that various cracks are constantly spreading, covering the whole sword body, as if it would be completely broken at any time. It looks scary. Dead. Yi Tianxing once again quit drinking. The black and white yin and yang mirrors once again appeared in the void, and a black light swept over the frost jackal like a pony. It's this weird mirror again. The frost jackal king felt like he was being stared at by a poisonous snake. He instinctively glanced at it. When he saw the yin and yang mirror, he couldn't help showing a horrible color. How did the two-headed ogre die before? Be clear about it. I was shot by this weird mirror, and then completely cut off the vitality, lying on the ground, motionless. Where would you let the black light fall on you? Do not want to, instinctively grabbed a wolf man around him. Then, he threw the wolf man towards the black light. King. The wolf man apparently did not expect that the frost jackal king would make such a move, and his face was filled with a miserable exclaim. The body has been covered by black light. Brush. After being exposed to black light, the wolf man's face was stunned for a while, and then his body became stiff, falling from the air, no more vitality, breathing, and died of death. Good domineering mirror. Frost Howling King took a breath. It's ruthless, it's really cool and inferior, it's worthy of being an alien. Yi Tianxing frowned slightly, and sneered with a voice. The yin and yang mirror is indeed overbearing, but a black light can only attack one creature. The frost jackal king uses the soldiers around him to prevent disasters. The black light directly shines on the unlucky egg. In the end, the unlucky ghost falls, but there is no more frost. The wolf king's damage can be said to be an alternative method to crack the yin and yang mirror. As long as it is cruel enough, there are other beings around, and it can die in its place. Of course, this is under certain circumstances. If it is revised to a higher level, the yin and yang mirrors are also invincible. One person can decide life or death. Let my boyfriend teach the wolf king. At that moment, a daring voice sounded on the wall. All I saw was a white robe, a pale emptiness boy shaking the fan in his hand, and said confidently. In front of him, a treasure box emerged, and the treasure box was slowly opened. It can be seen that in this treasure box, there were 9 swords flashing with cold light. It's just that these swords look very compact, the size of which is reduced to the size of chopsticks, but they are lifelike. It can be seen that each mouth contains a different charm. The emptiness boy shook his fan and shook his head while sighing. Hey, the same human race, today I saw aliens slaughter my human town. How can my emptiness boy stand by and watch? How can you easily get involved in the danger? This jackal will do the labor for Yi Daoyu. Quote. In his voice, Yi Tianxing did not even agree. You have seen the 9 swords in the treasure box in front of you. Zunxian sword, killing sword, Buddha extermination sword, Fu magic sword, demon sword, sacred sword, soul-chasing sword, capturing sword, broken sword. Every bite emits a strange layer of strange light. Shows that these 9 mouths are all treasures of heaven and earth. Go with. The emptiness boy bounced towards the soul-hunting sword of the 9 ancient swords, www.novelhall.com, Sue. The soul-chasing sword broke through, swelled at a speed visible to the naked eye, and became a normal size of a war sword, stabbing towards the frost wolf at an inhuman speed. This sword has a word following. The speed is extremely fast. As soon as it appears, the frost jackal king's gas engine is locked. Instantly appeared before him. Kill. The frost jackal king saw that his face was extremely ugly, his body flashed, an ice blue halo appeared outside him, and 3 small ice blue stars quickly rotated around the body. Cold tide. A icy flying spear flew out of his hand again. Boom toward that soul-hunting sword. But weird things happened. The soul-chasing sword seemed to be spiritual, and at the moment of impending collision, it turned a moment in midair. Avoid the flying spear flexibly. Then the speed soared, and a sword was cut on his body. Chapter 325, Broken Wall. Welcome you. Please remember the address of this site. Mobile phone reading, so that you can always read the latest chapter of the novel, Eternal Kingdom. Click. The frost star outside the frost wolf instantly collided with the soul-chasing sword. The power of a frost star could directly freeze a small mountain peak, completely turning it into a snowy place. The power it contains is extremely overbearing. But at this moment, the sword light that was swallowed in the soul-chasing sword was split open and chopped heavily on the body. If it weren't for the frost jackal king, a silver-white leather armor emerged, and the soul-hunting sword was forcibly blocked. I am afraid that this sword will completely split it. But the power contained in the sword still kept the feet of frost wolf going backwards. Sword meaning. Frost jackal's face changed greatly, and he exclaimed. The sword of war actually contained the meaning of the sword. This is not an ordinary sword of war. The sword of the sword is not emitted from the Emperor of Emptiness, but from the mouth of the soul-hunting sword. The sword of war itself contains sword meaning. Yi Tianxing eyes fixed and said flatly. That is not the sword intention from the emptiness boy, but the sword intention from the soul-hunting sword itself, and that sword meaning is the soul-hunting sword. It can even be said that the war sword is the carrier of the soul-seeking sword. Its true origin is its soul-seeking swordsmanship. That treasure box contains 9 war swords. If the soul-chasing sword contains the soul-hunting sword, does the other 8-socket sword contain the other 8 swords? If it is true, then this treasure box, definitely not an ordinary exotic treasure, it should be enough to rank among the top exotic treasures. When grown up, it is absolutely powerful and powerful. Yi Tianxing groaned secretly in his heart. The name of the emptiness boy reminded him of a character he had known before. Is it really the vacant boy? If it is true, it is a strong man with great potential. Yi Tianxing secretly said in his heart. Of course, there was nothing bad about him. After all, they are now standing on the same front. It's a comrade in arms and a friend in Tao. As long as you are not the enemy, you have the opportunity to be friends. At least now friends. Now it seems that the emptiness boy is obviously a good helper. How about another sword? Although the soul-chasing sword did not completely kill the frost jackal wolf, the Emperor of the Emptiness showed a smile, and at his fingertips flew out a battle sword again and flew into the air. The first time I hacked towards the frost jackal king. This battle sword appeared, and a powerful iron-blooded spirit was tearing the sky like a tide, as if all the armies were fighting together in the battlefield, and the voice of killing kept ringing. Broken sword. This mouth is really a broken army sword, exuding a strong killing breath. The sword is vertical and horizontal. Click. This sword is like a peerless combat technique issued by a general. Scarlet sword light, sweeping the world. It was so severe that Frost Wolf felt a strong breath of death. My heart was pounding. Damn, come back. The Frost Jackal King cursed secretly, holding the war spear, instead of blasting it out as a flying spear, but holding it in his hand and blasting towards the sword. With the war spear in his hand, the accomplishments revealed were not low. It turned out to be the pinnacle of the war sword. The war spear collided with the sword, and the breaking sword's intention collided with the power of ice. Almost immediately, the horrific air machine frozen the ground around it. The strength of the ice war spear is good, but in front of the broken sword, it still looks inferior and was cut off on the spot. Slashed again on the body. Even the frost star couldn't stop it, but it was still blocked by the silver-white leather. One more sword. At his fingertips, the third battle sword flew in the air, breaking through the space, transmitting a terrifying will to kill the soul. This sword is a dazzling sword. Three-handed swords, soul-hunting swords, dread swords, and broken swords. Emitting a sharp sword, under the control of the Emperor, the three swords flew together, and they continued to attack the Frostwolf Wolf King like lightning, completely exerting the flexibility and sharpness of the flying sword. As if three peerless swordsmen were besieging each other at the same time. When each battle sword launched an attack, there was no sign. The attack speed was extremely fast, even if it was the Frostwolf Wolf. Under the attack of the battle sword, the left branch and the right block were blocked, and in the killing room, once again took out a battle. Spears, 2 war spears kept waving, colliding fiercely with the 3 war swords. Dense sword lights and spear shadows are constantly intertwined. Unfortunately, the attack speed of the 3 war swords is too fast. Even the war spear's defense is very strong. The sword still finds gaps in the sword and keeps chopping on the body. The silver-white leather armor on the body is constantly flashing. Starts to dim at a speed that is visible to the naked eye. Even the sword marks began to appear on the leather armor. Obviously, under repeated attacks, even the strongest defensive power of leather armor is still difficult to resist. Puff! The broken army sword stabbed out suddenly, breaking through the defense. Even a sword penetrated through the silver-white leather armor, stabbing into the chest stiffly. Blood shines. The entire body, under the power of the broken army sword, was penetrated through the body with holes, flying up into the air. Do not! The Frost Jackal King issued a screaming roar, and his voice was full of unwillingness. Puff puff! But in the midair, immediately, the soul-chasing sword and the soul-stealing sword have been stabbing continuously towards its body. Each sword tore through the body, pierced through the body, piercing blood holes in the body, and blood spewed out. In an instant, dozens or hundreds of sword holes were pierced on the body. Blood stained the whole body. By the time he fell to the ground, there was no good piece of meat on his body. That's the same as Wang Jian penetrating the heart. Terrible. But it did not fall immediately, and there was a reluctance in his eyes, and he roared, "Children, kill me, don't break Xuanwang town, and vow." Immediately after giving the order to the werewolf, a drink was again given, ice frozen. As soon as the words fell, a strange force of ice emerged naturally in the flesh and blood of the body, quickly freezing the wounds on and off the body. The blood on the wounds stopped flowing, and appeared at a speed visible to the naked eye out, covering the upper and lower body, condensing into ice crystals, frozen on the spot, and turned into an ice sculpture. At the same time, a rune appeared, encasing its body, turning into a streamer, quickly disappearing. Get out of the battlefield. It turned out that he fled decisively. But before fleeing, he unceremoniously ordered all gnolls to attack Xuanwang town. Even if all of this army of wolves were fallen, it would definitely bring huge damage to Xuanwang town. Boom! At this moment, the Green Python King completely rushed under the walls of Xuanwang town. A huge body swept through, and an invisible pressure rolled directly against the city wall, creating an invisible haze. A huge tail was beating directly on the wall. Rumble! With the outbreak of terror, in front of the huge snake tail, a section of the city wall collapsed on the spot. The soldiers and the people at the city walls were even pumped out by a huge force. Smashed to the ground, some people's internal organs were ruptured on the spot, serious injuries were frequent, and someone was directly torn apart by a huge body, completely exploded. Broken into pieces. In the city wall, there is a huge gap of tens of meters. Open the door directly to Xuanwang town. The whole army listened to the orders. The archers, the magic machine battalions, all stayed on the city walls, relying on their high advantages, shooting and killing aliens, pikemen, sword shields, down the city walls, and fighting with the aliens. The town generals are by no means inferior to any alien army. Quote, Yi Tianxing witnessed the collapse of the city wall and was not surprised. The scale of the alien invasion was too huge. It swept through, and it was difficult to avoid being attacked. Defense is only part of it. Since the city walls were broken, Xuanwang town is not without the courage and strength of World War I. Brush. The voice fell, and a black and white yin-yang clip appeared directly in the air. And, for the first time, it turned into 2 black and white dragons, staggered across the waste toward the Green Python King. This cut seemed to be flooded by 2 black and white dragons. Click. In a clear sound, the body of the Green Python King was cut into 2 sections by a pair of scissors. Roar! The green python king Yangtian roared, and at the same time, a strong blue light bloomed on the two cut bodies, covering the broken body, and the broken body began to heal in an instant. But weirdly, at the wound, the black and white light burst out abruptly, suppressing the blue light stiffly, and the strong vitality was blocked. This is the power of yin and yang remaining on the body of yin and yang scissors, preventing the healing of his injuries. To get back together, you must first force away the yin and yang power contained in the wound. Otherwise, don't think about it. This is not an ordinary power of yin and yang. The yin and yang scissors are already mysterious supernatural powers. Even the body of the second-order fierce beast can be cut directly with a pair of scissors. The difficulty of annihilating the remaining yin and yang power is not easy. In particular, this is the power of innate yin and yang. The power is even stronger. Kill. In Yi Tianxing's hand, a flying spear appeared, and between his arms, the spear tore through the sky like a meteor. www.novelhall.com. The full force of 90,000 pounds of terror was poured into the spear and appeared on the top of the green python king. Puff. Huge power brings horrible penetration. The spear actually tore his flesh on the spot and inserted it into his skull. But only part of it. The powerful flesh of the second-tier beast is still horrible, and even the flying spear can't completely penetrate it. Roar. The green python king looked at Yi Tianxing coldly, and there was a kind of madness in his gaze. With a roar, his body suddenly exploded. The whole body began to swell without warning. That picture is like an inflated balloon. Inflated several times and dozens of times. Not good. Back off, all the soldiers, retreat backward, immediately take out amulet, thick earth rune, and strengthen the defense. Yi Tianxing saw a bad idea in his heart. Chapter 326. Pull a knife. Welcome you. Please remember the address of this site. Mobile phone reading, so that you can always read the latest chapter of the novel, Eternal Kingdom. For subscription recommendation, come with a monthly pass. Network. The look in the eyes of the blue python king was too fierce, crazy, and full of determination. Now that there is no way for him to regain his life quickly, he will heal his severed body again, and immediately know that he will inevitably suffer calamity in the battlefield. Unless you escape immediately, you will never be able to leave here alive. The destructive power of Xuanji Shintong is too strong and powerful enough to determine the entire battle in an instant. There is no possibility to live after. The king of green pythons didn't hesitate anymore. The moment the war spear fell on his body, the blood in his body rose wildly in a frantic gesture. At all costs, all qi and blood are completely violent, and the infinite qi and blood burst out, which is the power in exchange for the cost of their own vitality. Rumble. When the blue python king completely swelled to a limit, the body, like a mountain, exploded. At the moment of explosion, all flesh and blood became powder in the explosion, completely turned into a layer of cyan mist, and shot out like tidal waves in all directions. Wherever I went, the ground was roaring violently, and numerous cracks continued to surface, visible to the naked eye. Spread around. The most terrible thing is that the blue mist, wherever they go, the ground plants are exhausted at an incredible degree, all vitality is extinct, taken away, no trace of existence can be found, and the fly ash is annihilated. No, what is this? My body, what's going on? Help. Fuck the green python, what is the blue mist that I made? I feel that the vitality in my body is flying away and constantly passing away. It is terrible, I am going to die. Poisonous, this is very toxic. The cyan mist produced by the green python king's self-explosion was too huge. Moreover, that is not the destructive self-exposure power that is imagined at all, but a kind of poisonous, a kind of extremely terrible poisonous. It can be seen that wherever the blue mist goes, the vegetation is withered, extinct all vitality, the ogre is shrouded, the ogre smashes the huge body, begins to wither to the naked eye, flesh and blood disappear, and the bones are exposed, killed on the spot. The most frightening thing is that this poisonous, after killing an ogre, the fog started to grow. It seems that the ogre and even the soul are a powerful nourishment. Killing souls, spawning more poisonous gas. Whether it is an ogre, a wolf man, or even a large number of vipers nearby, at this moment, everything is devoured. However, it seemed that he was only interested in living lives. Those corpses that had previously died were not killed by devouring poison. There was nothing in the mist. It looks weird. The king of pythons exploded so suddenly that even if they were all aliens, they were covered. A large number of wolves, ogres, and screamed in violent poison. Turned into bones, no vitality. Her self-destructed position was even in the gap where the city wall was broken. The poison also covered a large area of the city wall, and even spread towards the town. Many soldiers, ordinary people, and even foreign monks were caught in the mist and screamed. The body melts in the mist. Deprived of all life. It looks terrifying, even if there are monks and soldiers taking out various defensive amulets to condense out of enchantment. But the blue mist, as if pervasive, penetrated directly into the enchantment, defensive rune, and easily fell on the body, and then saw the body in the mist continuously disappearing to the naked eye. The picture is pretty scary. The most frightening thing is that the more creatures devoured and poisoned, the more poisonous the mist will be. Fate Rebirth. The poison of life. This piece of blue mist is really the talent and poison contained in the Python King's body. It is a poisonous magical power derived from the rebirth of life. This self-explosion not only completely smashed the poison in the body into the flesh, but the poisonous sac in the body is completely fused with flesh and blood, and the destructive power generated by the self-explosion is not strong, all of which are transformed into the poison of life. There is a terrible character in the poison of life. The power of being able to devour the life of the slain souls into nutrients, and quickly turn into a new poisonous life. As long as there is life, it can fly and expand, continuously spread, and become the most terrible destructive force. Kill everything. This is the force that plunders life. Strengthening its own terrible and toxic, once it cannot be contained, it can be imagined that the surrounding area will completely become a terrible forbidden zone of life. Fuck the green python, this is just a madman, even if he ignores it, he must make this terrible venom. It is irrelevant to me. This is a lunatic. The scorpion could not help cursing in his heart. But the body did not dare to act lightly. His eyes were always staring at the black figure in front of him, and he could see that a sharp knife had already escaped from Fu Hongxue, completely locked him. This lock was extremely terrible, even the devil was frightened. Feel the strong breath of death. Eyes fell on the sword of Fu Hongxue. The blade remains in the scabbard. It can only be felt that a stream of essence and energy, like a tide, poured into the scabbard continuously and merged into the blade body. In the process, a sharp knife intention continued to condense and became more domineering and terrifying. Of course, these are all gathered in the scabbard, which is not felt at all outside. But the scorpion was able to detect a terrifying force contained in the scabbard from a powerful threat transmitted from the underworld. Get ready. Each time Fu Hongxue took a step, his momentum was condensed into the scabbard. Surgery, not only the faster the better, the higher the frequency of the better. It was time and place, and the type of fast drawing and high frequency pull-out technique naturally has its power, and it can be as fast as lightning, making people invincible, but it is not the essence of the pull-out technique. The true essence lies in hiding the knife into the sheath, accumulating potential into the sheath, and condensing in the sheath completely. The sword intention is tempered with the spirit of vitality, so that the knife intention can be several times, or even 10 times, the moment it emerges from the sheath. Explosion, cut with one stroke, destroy the world. Really invincible. That kind of knife is really overwhelming. Unstoppable. No one can easily cut out such a sword drawing technique. The potential before pulling out, the longer the time, the greater the power. Even at the end, with a single wave, even the void will be completely shattered. Today, the knife in the hands of Fu Hongxue never pulled it out when he saw the demon scorpion, approaching it step by step, the danger in the devil's heart became stronger. Feel the huge threat. Let him not keep up the momentum, otherwise, it is definitely not a good thing. There was a flash of fierceness in the eyes of the scorpion, the self-detonation of the green python king, the weird death of the two-headed ogre, and the frost-howling king was severely stricken, and fled on the spot. In heaven, Function Wing Dragon King was strangled with Jin Peng Crazy, Blue. The storm and the golden storm collided one after another. Moreover, it seems that under the guidance of consciousness, the battlefield keeps breaking away from Xuanwang Town and moves towards a distant jungle. A large number of alien troops came to attack Xuanwang Town, and they would get this far. This caused a little anger in the heart of the scorpion, but also a kind of fear. I dare not let Fu Hongxue continue to gain momentum. Kill. The magic scorpion did not hesitate. With his arms raised, the spear in his hand swept past Fu Hongxue like a poisonous dragon. In the spear, he exaggerated a sharp sense of gunfire. That gunshot made people feel that a stinging poisonous dragon burst out of the air, swept their teeth and swept away, and the gunshot was so vicious that the gun shot out like a dragon. In the blink of an eye, it seemed as if only a poisonous dragon was swept across the world. Cross battlefield. Cut. Fu Hongxue shot a sharp killing intention in his eyes, and the sword was pulled out from the scabbard inch by inch. This process seems to allow everyone to see clearly, it seems extremely slow. But at the moment of pulling out, you can see that a sharp blade of light is projecting from the blade body, and the light of the blade is blooming. At this moment, it is so dazzling, as if there is no way to look directly at the sword. It was as if it had been stared at by the terrible poisonous snake. Cold all over the body. The knife did not completely come out of the sheath. The cloud of blood above his head was smashed into pieces on the spot. With each inch of the blade being pulled out, the meaning of the sword gathered on the sword becomes more intense and terrible. The more severe it is, the more amazing it is. Almost instantly, the moment you pull out the long knife, the meaning of this sword is completely soaring to the pinnacle of Yi Ji Dai. It is only a stone's throw away from Ji Dai, and even the vagueness has completely touched the boundary of Ji Dai. Click. The huge knife light with a strong sense of the sword, chopped out at an indescribable degree. It looks slow, this is only the illusion of the naked eye. The knife, it is already almost shocking. At this moment, www.novelhall.com, a large number of monks just felt that a dark poisonous dragon roared and swept across, and then, a larger sword slashed down towards the poisonous dragon. In a crisp sound, the poisonous dragon was in front of the sword, like a loach, easily cut off, cut into two pieces, and continued to chop unstoppably forward. The sword is endless and endless. No words can describe this knife's fast, hate, absolutely. And in this knife light, without any warning, a dark scorpion tail waved through the air with an even more incredible degree. Cut through the void, and avoid the angle of the knife. Boom! There was a loud roar on the battlefield. I only saw that the body of the scorpion flew backwards and smashed to the ground. On him, I don't know when, a layer of dark light appeared, covering the whole body, and confronting the sword, the layer of light was on the spot. Destroyed, but the sword is also mostly destroyed. Cut on the body, you can see a blood light shot out from the flying scorpion. Chapter 327, Giant Attack. Welcome you, please remember the address of this site, mobile phone reading, so that you can always read the latest chapter of the novel, Eternal Kingdom. Unlucky today, the car broke out on a high road, changing tires on the road under the heavy rain, more than an hour. I have never done this job, and my whole body is soaked in cool. The knife light dissipated. Fu Hongxue stood opposite the scorpion. It's a fast knife, it's a domineering sword, it's a ruthless mind. There are such strong people in the human race. Sure enough, the human race should never exist in the heavens and the earth. The scorpion looked at himself under the sword light, cut wound. The wound was very stingy, cutting straight from the left shoulder all the way down the chest. As if to split the entire body into two sections with one knife. If it hadn't blocked the meaning of the sword with the black layer of light before, it was split into two, which is almost his intended ending. The scorpion subconsciously found a jade pendant from his neck. It was a jade devil who could not see the appearance. Unfortunately, at this moment, on the devil jade pendant, the light was dim and the fine cracks were scattered on it. Extinction. This is a strange treasure on him, which was obtained together from the demon altar. This jade pendant can wield a strong defense force at the time of frequent death, helping himself to resist a fatal blow. This demon jade had helped him withstand several deadly attacks, and it was the demon jade who helped him to block the power of the rune bomb. Otherwise, I will die several times before. The fatal sword just now is also the case of the demon jade's instinct to protect the master. If the shield is not blocked by the shield, the sword may be fatal to him. Even so, it was still hit hard. Moreover, the demon Yupe is already on the verge of collapse. Obviously, if you do it again, it may be completely destroyed. It's weird, it's overbearing and poisonous. Fu Hongxue retracted the knife into the sheath, but the whole body could not help but tremble slightly. You can see on the face that a layer of black gas is constantly emerging. What's more, the spread was amazing, and a black poisonous blood flowed out of the corner of the mouth. At the same time as he was cutting the sword, the magic scorpion also had a killer. The scorpion tail behind him pierced Fu Hongxue with an incredible degree. If Fu Hongxue was willing, he could cut the scorpion tail with the intention of the sword. However, he did not retract the sword, and still slashed straight towards the scorpion. A kind of ruthless and heartfelt thoroughness was revealed, and he was fierce towards others and equally fierce towards himself. There is no hesitation even if you trade your injuries for your life. The only pity is that this sword did not kill the scorpion on the spot. Moreover, the scorpion's attack contained a terrible poison. Crazy is spreading in the body. My poison is poisoned, and I will die in an instant. The battle was won by me. The scorpion sneered. His poison is very deadly. The poisoned person seems to have numerous scorpion needles in his body constantly destroying flesh and blood, not only painful and unbearable but also poisoning all vitality. In his opinion, poisoned by his own poison, this celebrity peerless swordsman has died shortly, not far from death. Relatively speaking, he is alive, and he has won. That may not be so. Fu Hongshui's face was cold. Although she was poisonous in her body, she still didn't show a trace of fear, and she still held her hand on the handle. Just holding it on the handle of the knife, the momentum on the body naturally gives people an indomitable momentum. Let the scorpion dare not move. He didn't dare to gamble. Even if he was very poisonous, he couldn't guess whether Fu Hongxue had the power to pull out the second sword again. Even if it is not half as powerful as before, it can pose a deadly threat to him. At this moment, the blue poisonous mist has begun to spread. Not only on the outside battlefield, but also in Xuanwang town, it is constantly spreading and spreading. Retreat. Regardless of whether it is a general or a stranger in the town, when they see the blue poisonous mist, they all retreat one after another. There are scorpion warriors who contain highly poisonous. Failed to resist, only a few breaths, was completely poisoned by poisonous mist, and turned into a pile of bones. This makes everyone on the battlefield afraid of poisonous fog. Faced with the spread of poisonous mist, they evaded. Boom! And just when a large number of ordinary soldiers and aliens evaded the poisonous mist suddenly, all I saw was that the ground was rolling for a while, and suddenly, a giant got out of the ground. Up and down, it is a kind of extremely hard stone, exuding the ancient mountain and river texture. Amazingly, a stone giant. This stone giant is larger than the stone giant that was seen in the tomb, but it is impossible to know whether it is that stone giant or not. In the eyes of other races, the appearance of the stone giant is almost the same, all of which are made of stones. The breath on the body is extremely subtle. Even the fluctuation of the soul does not seem to be felt, all that can be felt is the coldness of the stones. As soon as this stone giant appeared, the surrounding blue poisonous mist covered the whole body, but strangely, this poisonous mist seemed to have no effect on the cold stone, not only could not penetrate it, and there was no way to poison it. Toxic is nothing. Walk through the poisonous mist, unbridled. Boom! The giant stone giant is like an ancient monster. When it appears, the momentum of terror is crushed instantly, so that a large number of people heartily feel a strong sense of suffocation. There seemed to be a small hill on his shoulders, making it difficult to breathe. Lift your foot and step towards the ground. A khaki light burst out from under his feet. The ground was trembling like an earthquake, shaking constantly. In the town, houses were slammed down, and the thorns burst out of the ground, densely. It is springing up. Puff puff. People and soldiers who had been too late to avoid it were too late to react and had been pierced through their bodies. Blood is flowing like a fountain. Constantly squirting. The same is true for aliens. At a glance, you can see that a large number of scorpion warriors were pierced through the body by piercing holes that showed no sign, and pierced blood holes. Nailed to the ground and made a scream. The city wall shook violently at this foot, and cracks appeared. Frequent collapse. A huge fist bombarded Yi Tianxing like a meteorite. With one fist down, the breath that was passed caused the void to oscillate, and the bursting power could smash the mountain peaks. There was a terrible sonic boom under the fist. In the beginning, the goal of Shi Giant was on Yi Tianxing. Shoot fierce attacks. The fist has not fallen, and the invisible vigor has made many monks feel a sting on their faces. The earth and stones on the wall were constantly being shredded and collapsed. Another overbearing force who wants to rob Zanhuang Baoyu. Yi Tianxing punched out with a huge fist. Rumble. The force of terror exploded on the spot, and a large section of the city wall completely collapsed in front of the huge force. Yi Tianxing's body was also stung into the ruins. Countless dusts. The huge fist, without knowing why, collapsed backwards. There seemed to be a strong backlash. The fist staggered directly from one side and hit the ground, a huge hole appeared on the ground, and a large area collapsed. What a terrifying power! This power already has a huge force of more than 100,000 kilograms. I can't bear all of my Taiji Quan. Instead, I was injured by that power. The stone giant stepped on the ground, and it was really powerful. Quote. Standing in the ruins, Yi Tianxing's mouth showed a trace of blood, and the internal organs were shaking. However, under the strong physical body and true spirit, this injury was no big deal. For that punch, he used Taijiquan, and the power of Taijiquan to remove the tremendous power contained in that punch, but in the end, Taijiquan was also broken in front of that horrible force, and the power fell on within the body, the internal tremor was injured by the shock. Fortunately, Taijiquan also bounced some of the boxing power and moved his fist to the side. This is no longer the power that Shanghai realm can possess. It is a realm that has been cultivated as a whole, but I am afraid that it has reached the level of life and knowledge. Moreover, it is obviously the way of refining the body. All strength is above the flesh. The strength is already out of the realm. Kill. Yi Tianxing didn't hesitate. Since the giant Shishi shot, it was the enemy. Facing the enemy and killing him, he had to seize any chance. Every effort was made to bring the other person to death. Kill the spot. Expensive. The yin and yang scissors appeared again in front of them, turning into two huge black and white dragons, staggered towards the stone giant, and a pair of scissors cut them. Click. This cut is extremely fast. With the shape of the stone giant, there is no way to avoid it. She sturdily cut her waist around the stone giant. But at this moment, it can be seen that a layer of earth-colored divine light appeared on the stone giant, covering the whole body. The power of the earth filled the body, and the yellow light and the yin and yang scissors stalemate together. Want to block the power of yin and yang scissors. Unfortunately, the sharp edge of the yin and yang scissors is truly unstoppable. Even if the power of the earth was under the scissors, www.novelhall.com, it was still opened on the spot, cutting the stone giant back. Boom! The stone giant's lower body broke directly, but in a split second it shattered into small pieces of stone. The upper body fell on the ground, and to the naked eye, a piece of earth and stone continually condensed and appeared on the body. The fractured lower body almost grew back in a blink of an eye. As if, on the earth, the stone giant has an undead body. Even if the body is broken, the foot can still be reunited easily. Even the innate yin and yang power remaining on the body can be directly eliminated by smashing his body. New body condensed again. That picture is quite amazing. It can actually heal the broken body quickly, condensing a new body. The body is not his most important. As long as the power of the earth is present, he can be immortal. The fatal part is not the body. Quote. Yi Tianxing's pupils contracted violently for a while. The yin and yang scissors for the aliens are all unfavorable, which was so easily cracked by the stone giant. It's really surprising. Chapter 328, Broken Jade. Welcome you, please remember the address of this site, mobile phone reading, so that you can always read the latest chapter of the novel, Eternal Kingdom. Find a recommendation ticket, close black lens bracket, kill. The stone giant didn't have any extra words. Looking at Yi Tianxing, it seemed that he had been staring at Yi Tianxing completely. After recovering his body, there was no hesitation anymore, and a huge stone stick was smashed in his hand. The huge stone stick, like a pillar of heaven, was crushed down and the pressure brought out was extremely horrifying. War. Yi Tianxing did not flinch, the light flashed in his hand, and the bronze war spear was already in his hand. With his arms raised, the spear blasted at the stone stick. On the spear, you can see that there are 9 white jade-like stars flickering. The sharp broken jade spear was intended to burst out in the war spear. The comparison between the size of the war spear and the stone stick is really not comparable. It's like an elephant and an embroidery needle. The contrast between chopsticks and toothpicks. But the momentum on the war spear was not inferior to that of the stone club. Ding! Rumble! The stars on the war spear kept flashing, and a spear of swarms sprang out like tide. Let the spears endlessly, violent. The tremendous power of 90,000 kilograms in the flesh was even blessed by the power of the heaven and earth in the spear that received a cavernous world from the Hongmengtiandi Tower. Gathering spears. Fusion together, let the power of the war spear reach an astonishing point. The spear and the stone stick bombarded together, and the power that burst out was not inferior. The war spear and the stone club collapsed at the same time. The tremendous force shattered the surrounding walls and buildings. Cracks appeared on the ground, which looked startling. Bang bang, the stone giant's face was expressionless. A stone stick in his hand seemed as light as nothing. He banged wildly towards Yi Tianxing, and each hit made the mountain fall. The stick method is not bad at all. With each hit, it exerts its own strength advantage to the extreme. The earthy yellow light on the stone stick makes the weight of the stone stick hard and heavy. Compared with the stone giant, Yi Tianxing is not inferior. The battle spear has the blessing of Hongmengtiandi Tower, and its own strength, combined with its spear, are gathered together, and the power that erupts with each strike is no less inferior to the stone giant. Moreover, small size has small benefits. Between square feet, the pace is changing and extremely flexible. Waving the war spear constantly, bombarding the stone giant around him. The broken jade spear method is constantly displayed, and other moves in the broken jade spear method are constantly displayed. My own perception of the broken jade spear is constantly increasing at a rate that is visible to the naked eye. Broken jade spear method. Red jade burns as the sun burns. The bronze war spear kept waving, watching the soldiers constantly falling in the battlefield. The people fell to the hands of the aliens. The anger in his heart was thoroughly poured into the war spear, blended into the meaning of the broken jade spear, and looked at the stone stick that came again. A spear blasted straight. At this moment, a layer of crimson jade light appeared on the bronze war spear. In this layer of light, the entire war spear seemed to be completely turned into a red sun, with a blazing flame and using itself as a nourishment to burn the world, burn the terrible will of the immortal Buddha. This spear contains immense violent power. Seen on the battlefield, it was as if a small sun was colliding with a stone stick. In this little sun, a monstrous anger is passed, which is a terrible will to burn the immortal Buddha desperately. Even if it is death, I will transform myself into a flame and burn all enemies in front of me. Rumble. In a fierce roar, the horrible little sun exploded, erupting several times, 10 times the horrible destructive power, and shrouding the stone sticks and even the stone giants in the red flames. It can be seen that the layers of stones on the stone giant were crushed and worn away. A shattered picture appears. It's like cutting an apple, letting the body be ground. In just a moment, the giant body of the stone giant shrank by a third. Looks startling. This scene was seen by other monks on the battlefield, and he couldn't help secretly speaking. Good overbearing spear, this is the terrible spear that would rather be unyielding and jade. The war spear, straightforward, rather than bend, is indeed overbearing. Its terrible destructive power, the spear is transformed into red sun, sweeping the world. But the spear of the jade burned through all the time, it is indelible. This is just two monsters fighting, randomly punching, kicking, and the power that erupted was just like thunder. It was too scary and amazing. It was irresistible at all. This destructive force was too scary. What happened? What will break into pieces completely? Quote. Looking at Shi Giant and Yi Tianxing on the battlefield, they secretly took a breath. Their assassination was simply punching into the flesh, colliding with force. 100,000 pounds of force are constantly colliding, that is, the destructive force caused by two human-shaped Tyrannosaurus. It is conceivable that almost no intact building can be seen within the range of the killing. The spear will be condensed and transformed again, and the broken jade spear will become stronger. This stone giant is a great object to sharpen combat skills. Yi Tianxing thought secretly in his heart. Can be seen in the true meaning of the spear. A blood jade war spear stands. Today's blood jade war spear has reached 3 inches in length and is still illusory, but 2 ancient urns emerge from it. White jade shines flawlessly in Kyushu. Red jade burns like a fire. Every sentence conveys a strong spear meaning, condensed in this blood jade war spear, so that the blood jade war spear naturally grows and becomes more concise. This means that the broken jade spear becomes stronger. There is one more kind of change in the broken jade. Burn yourself like a fire and burn the decisive will of the immortal Buddha. Even if it is dead, it will never shrink back. There are only 3 types of broken jade spear method. The last one is, blood jade breaks the sky without regret. Roar. The stone giant's body shrank by a third under the spear. But still not severely damaged, yellow light emerged from the body, and the originally broken body grew up again at a speed visible to the naked eye. Immediately after recovering, I saw that the stone giant slammed his foot toward the ground. This step is centered on his body, and a layer of earthy light passes out like a tide. A terrible picture appeared before him. The surrounding land has become a layer of hard stones, broken vegetation, and turned into stone-carved vegetation. Trees also turned into stones. Houses and buildings made from trees also turned into stones in an instant. Some people are affected, and the body immediately turns into a stone statue, and so does the alien, turning into cold stones. Lifelike, in normal times, it may be said to be a spectacle, but here it is extremely terrifying. Fate petrochemical. This supernatural power is in the hands of the stone giant, which is just called ferocious. As soon as you step out, the petrified divine light burst out. Everywhere you go, all life must be turned into stone. The speed of that magical power was so amazing that it swept through without any dead ends. Immediately cover the entire body of Yi Tianxing closest to him. Yellow light flows. It can be seen that on Yi Tianxing's body, the skin has begun to become stiff and cold. A strange power penetrated into the flesh and blood around him. Ding ding ding. Hei Ding is constantly vibrating in his body, and a stream of qi and blood travels through the flesh like a tide, suppressing and destroying the power of petrification, but the power of petrification is very strange. Under the impact of qi and blood, it is as firm as a rock. Unwavering, no matter how the qi and blood impact, it always erodes the flesh and blood firmly. It contained a terrible breath to turn everything into icy stones. That's the rule, that's the rhyme. Any magical power is a manifestation of the laws of heaven and earth. This is the root cause that can be compared with the true meaning of Budo. Even the majestic qi and blood in the body only relieves the petrochemical process of the body. However, in the first time, in the spear of truth in Shanghai, a pure spear shot out, the broken jade spear quickly entered the flesh and blood, and attacked wildly towards the petrified force invading the body. Turned into a small blood jade battle spear, as if there were thousands of troops, constantly attacking the power of petrochemicals. The rock-like strength of petrification was under the impact of the broken jade spear. Quickly disintegrates, and then, is impacted by the force of qi and blood, completely worn away. Attack with spear, blood and blood swept. In an instant, a force of petrochemicals was suppressed. Awesome petrochemical superpower. Yi Tianxing secretly gave a hint of wonder in his heart. If the true meaning of martial arts had not been condensed in the body, the force of breaking the petrification with the spear would be afraid that the flesh would completely become a cold stone in an instant. Of course, if one's own strength is insufficient, even if there is martial arts, it is difficult to break through this supernatural power. This is long to say, but it's just a blink of an eye. In the blink of an eye, life and death change. The stone giant did not hesitate. At the moment when Yi Tianxing stood still, he waved the stone stick directly, and hit it with a stick. Under the stone stick, the void is turbulent, and you can have no doubt that if you are hit, you will definitely be killed or injured. By the time Yi Tianxing dispelled the petrochemical power in his body, it was too late to avoid. If you want to fight, then fight. It is better to be jade broken than to be full. As a human race, you must stand tall. Looking at the huge stone sticks that were already in front of him, Yi Tianxing's chest exploded on the spot, and the tragic killing broke out without reservation. Even if he died, he would die in the battle. Fight even in despair. Even if you die, you have to give your strongest blow. At this moment, the ***** Jade War Spear in Yu Yu's reading, S mind seemed to be strongly stimulated, and trembled, producing a strong resonance. Kill, 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 war, war, war. The strong will on the blood jade war spear seemed to be completely absorbed into the mind. Boom! The bronze war spear waved towards the stone giant under an instinct. Instead of resisting the stone stick, he blasted straight towards the stone giant. For life, jade burns. White jade is flawless, broken jade proves. It is better to die than to bend. This is the broken jade spear method, which is born after death, and when you spear, you must have the faith and determination that cause you to die. Chapter 329, Giant's Heart. Yi Tianxing felt that his own perception of the broken jade spear continued to emerge in his mind, quickly taking root and sprouting, and converging in the true spear of the spear in the body. On the blood jade battle spear condensed by the jade spear, the third ancient sentence appeared suddenly. The blood jade broke the sky without regrets. A jade burned, and the spears that broke everything broke out from the spear. Broken jade spears, truly complete. The moment of concentrating the complete broken jade spear, the blood jade war spear in the true charm of the spear road, began to grow at a rate visible to the naked eye, 1 inch, 2 inches, and 3 inches. In just a few breaths, the whole broken jade spear grows directly to a foot, and the spear sent out is severe and overbearing. There is no regret, just because jade is broken. At this moment, all the perceptions of the broken jade spear method are completely condensed into the war spear. Brush. At this moment, in the battlefield, the stone giant can clearly be seen. In front of him, a huge blood jade war spear appeared. This blood jade war spear was covered with tiny cracks and spread across the whole war spear. 9 stars flashed with white light appeared on it. A ***** flame shrouded the spear. It's like a general who knows that he must die. At the last moment of his life, he still chooses to launch a final charge to the enemy without shrinking. This charge is caused by faith. Life and death have been set aside. There is no other thing than fighting. Rumble. In a fierce roar, countless dusts rose into the sky, and the surrounding trees and plants turned into stones. Yi Tianxing's body slammed heavily on the ground, a huge deep pit appeared on the ground, and a broken, dark battle armor slowly dissipated from his body, exposing the flesh. You can see that there were cracks on the body, as if it were about to be completely broken. Porcelain. The blood infiltrated from the wound. It seemed shocking. The most terrible thing was not the appearance. In the body, a bone was broken and fractured. One section of bone does not know how many sections and how many sections are broken. This kind of injury is fatal at any time. Paralyzed in bed forever, even if not dead. With Yi Tianxing's flesh, even Xuanjia's life tactics have been urged. While being transformed into a warframe to cover the body, it is still severely damaged. It is conceivable how horrible the destructive force that stick falls. So terrible brute force, there is also a powerful gravity in the stone stick. If it were not for my physical strength and mysterious defense, I am afraid that other monks would be beaten into a mud. Smashed into a mist of blood. However, for me, as long as you give me time, you can quickly recover. I do and know how my spear turned out. The jade spear breaking method, the jade burned together, merged into one, 9 times outbreak, raging like fire it is indestructible. Quote. Yi Tianxing's body was full of blood, and looked no different from the same blood. But in the process, a stream of qi and blood was swarming out of the black hole, drilling into the flesh, and wounds began to heal at an inhuman speed. Even the broken bones, under the warm nourishment of qi and blood, continue to heal and recover. Reconnected together. Unconsciously, one arm was already able to move. With a wave of his hand, a roast chicken was held in his hand, put it close to his mouth, swallowed it up, and ate it. Not only the chicken, but even the bones were chewed together into pieces. Swallow it. While eating, the food cells in the body and even the food tripod naturally start to operate. It draws the essence of food, quickly replenishes its own consumption, and hurts the body, healing at a speed that is visible to the naked eye. This is a long story, but it's just a matter of blink of an eye. The strength of the practitioner is the strength and resilience of the flesh. However, compared to the battlefield, it seems that there is an inexplicable sense of disobedience in the picture of sitting in a big pit and eating food. But at this moment, no one cares. I only saw that the stone giant was still standing in the distance. The whole body was like a hill, cold and ruthless. On the chest, there was an embarrassing hole, and a ***** jade-like light was shining in this hole. Good overbearing spear. The stone giant stared at Yi Tianxing. It can even be said that his eyes fell on him from beginning to end. Only then did he utter a voice. Boom. Almost as soon as the voice fell, I saw a ***** jade light flashing from the hole in the chest. The horror spree completely broke out, and the giant body of the stone giant was directly broken into pieces at a speed visible to the naked eye, fist-sized stone fragments. Stacked up like a hill. This time, even the head was broken. The overbearing broken jade spear has completely destroyed its entire body. In 9 outbreaks, spear intended to shatter his body completely. What is that? Just in the middle of a pile of stones, a dark yellow heart emerged. This heart looks extremely huge. But you can see that there was a wound on it, pierced by spears. Now when the body collapses, it is completely revealed. This one is truly the core of the true origin of the stone giant, the heart of the giant. It can even be said that the only key to the stone giant lies in the heart of this giant. The amazing power contained in it can be connected to the earth, even if the head is broken, or even the skull is cut off. As long as the heart of the giant remains once intact, you can grow back. Is the source of strength. Again, this is the most deadly key to the stone giant. The spear just passed through the giant's heart stiffly, and the spear broke out, smashing the body. Killed with a spear. This is Yi Tianxing. For other people, there is no strong physical force, no infusion of the power of heaven and earth in the tower of Hongmeng Emperor, and the powerful spear is the front. Break the heart. After all, I won. Yi Tianxing slowly got up from the big pit, and stepped to the stone hill step by step. Looking at those stones, they were broken. They are not ordinary stones. There is a kind of stone with a layer of yellow light. It was a hard, immortal stone. Each piece can survive in the years, like the stubborn stones, let the years wash, but does not move like stubborn stones. No matter how many years have passed, this stone cannot be weathered. Can be described as a stone in the pit, smelly and hard. But this thing, cannot be refined with other materials into magic weapon. It is not impossible to smelt. But the characteristic of this immortal stone is solid, immortal. However, we cannot add any ability to magic weapon, because its essence is stone, and it cannot upgrade any magic weapon grade. In your hand, at best, you are making a brick and smashing it. Just like chicken ribs. After getting these messages from the wordless Book of Heaven, Yi Tianxing didn't dislike it, and sent all the immortal hard stones into the pagoda with a wave of his hand. Put away that yellow giant heart together. Look at the battlefield, great changes have taken place. Although the number of alien troops is huge, in Xuanwang town, they have not gained the upper hand. Moreover, the addition of those foreign monks to kill them has brought tremendous pressure to the alien troops. The archer and the crossbowman shoot out a continuous row of battle arrows and crossbows. Each shot was accompanied by batches of aliens falling on the battlefield. In addition, the leaders of the alien army are either dead or missing. Morale plummeted. Even the madness in Pinji's heart was gradually suppressed. The nature of war is slowly tilting towards Xuanwang town. The 10,000 soldiers led by Feng Yumo also joined the battlefield and continued to fight with aliens. The hand soldiers handed over and flesh flew. The generals will obey, all the aliens, one will not stay, there will be no amnesty to kill. Yi Tianxing took a deep breath, opened a mouthful of drink, and echoed in the battlefield. Battle, 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 Tianlei is the drum and the earth is the tomb. The wilderness is fierce, the alien is mad, and the human race is indestructible from ancient times. The head can be broken, the blood can flow, and the iron bones loyal to Kyushu. 99 holding a steel knife, don't break the vow of aliens. Some soldiers who broke their hands and feet opened their mouths and spit out a deep, long howling sound. In the face of a long knife chopped down by a scorpion warrior, they did not evade at all, raised their guns, exhausted their strength, and pierced the long guns through their hearts. She was also severed by a long knife, www.novelhall.com, falling in the voice of war. Before death, fearless, war song, guiding his way forward. Kill, 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 ferocious beasts, strong aliens, men hold swords, swords are decapitated swords, and guns are killing guns. Regardless of god and demon, the slaughter is me. Qianzhou immortal industry, white bones stain the sky. For my people, I would like to slaughter millions of spirits. Life is a hero, and death is a ghost, so I will not destroy the soul and fight for the world. Abandon the name of 1,000 years of benevolence today, drink the blood of thousands of ethnic groups, step on the bones of the bones, and be weak and do not go with me today, kill the enemy with millions of hearts without punishment. Rather ask the ethnic groups to cut their teeth to hate, and not teach them to scold our enemy. War song echoed on the battlefield, cheering for the living, and seeing off the dead. The soldiers ignored the body and dared to kill the blood of the aliens, killing them faster and killing them harder. The people were fearless, and the aliens did not kill them. The foreign monks were turbulent and tumultuous, mad for war. Live in war songs, die in war songs. The vast sound of war songs has changed the face of many alien warriors on the battlefield, and the faith in their hearts has begun to shake. Every sentence is cut into the soul like a sword. No fight, the king is gone. A wolf man was pale, listening to the battle song, as if the entire battlefield was full of enemies, and the fear in his heart could not help swarming. My heart was trembling, my morale was completely dissipated, and a scream was made, but she turned around and ran away. Flee out of the battlefield. There is one, there are two, there are more. There is no leader, even to see his own leader fall on the battlefield with his own eyes, that kind of fear, loss, swept the soul like a tide. The fighting spirit in some alien races has completely disintegrated. Remember the first domain name for this book, www.4020.la. 4020 Novel Network Mobile Version Reading URL, m.4020.la. Chapter 330, Luck Swallow. Welcome you, please remember the address of this site, mobile phone reading, so that you can always read the latest chapter of the novel, Eternal Kingdom. Find a monthly pass. Close black lens bracket. Morale is high on one side and low on the other. The low side, even the regular army, will still be defeated in the face of peasant soldiers with high morale. Collapse completely. In the face of the leader, the king fell, and fled, he still dared to fight, the fierceness of the alien army can be seen. However, alien races are also intelligent races, and equally intelligent, they will be afraid, they will be afraid. I saw a powerful alien king, leader, falling down one after another, and now even the powerful stone giant was killed. The fear in my heart could no longer be contained, and madly emerged, occupying the soul. One fled the battlefield, and immediately there was a second and a third. Like a collapsed tarot card, it has a chain reaction. A large number of aliens have no fighting spirit, turn around and escape towards the battlefield. Shoot! But this situation did not cause any sympathy for the soldiers in Xuanwang town. Standing on the broken city wall, a famous archer, a soldier of Shenjiang, shot the arrows and the crossbows toward those aliens. Puff puff, turning around and escaping, his back was easily exposed to the sight of the shooter. In the face of trained archers, such aliens are like living targets. In the dense arrow rain, aliens are constantly being shot like straw. Fall in a pool of blood. Boom! In town, where the scorpion was, the ground suddenly collapsed, opening a hole. A dark altar emerged. Below are a large number of scorpion warriors. These scorpion warriors brought the scorpion, and with the altar, they fled away underground. Hew off! Huang Chengyan witnessed, opening his mouth to stop drinking. A white ancient sword burst out again. Slashed down towards that demon altar. The mighty righteousness contained in the ancient sword collided with the power of the demon god, as if the ice and fire collided together, and the layers of black mist were dissipating. Humph! But at this moment, from the altar of the demon god, a cold humming passed without any warning. A force of lungs erupted from the altar, bursting the sword into pieces. Brush! A dark eye slowly emerged from the altar. The emergence of this eye, in an instant, an indescribable coercion swept the entire Xuanwang town like a tide, and all the soldiers and the people felt that they were directly pressed. With a heavy load, the bones of the body made a crisp sound that was about to break, and there was a feeling of kneeling directly on the ground. In the face of this coercion, all power seemed so insignificant. It's like the ants facing the sea. What is this? How could one eye have such terrible coercion? Just one eye made me unable to develop any sense of resistance at all. This gap is too big, as big as a world. Quote, I actually feel that as long as that eye looks at me, I will die completely. What kind of eye is this and what is it? How could there be such a terrible monster? Is it a demon? A famous soldier shouted secretly in his heart, and a large number of monks showed horror in their eyes. The strength of the previous two-headed ogre, the blue python king, and even the stone giant are all visible. It may not be comparable now. In the future, there may not be a chance to catch up. It is within its own understanding. The courage sent by this eye is crushing everything, and never bottoms out. The eyes appear from the altar. Can this altar really communicate with the devil in the bottom and make the devil come? Yi Tianxing felt secretly in his heart, feeling the ubiquitous pressure, and the terror in his heart appeared like a tide. This power is no longer the Shanghai realm, or even the life-knowing realm and the life map realm. It is really easy to get rid of Xuanwang town. Wow! The moment when that eye appeared, a more terrible picture appeared in the heavens and the earth. It can be seen that around the eye, a golden iron chain emerges without warning. These iron chains convey the power of powerful laws, like a large net, covering the eye and suppressing it. A golden lightning emerged from the void, blasting towards that eye, and a black divine light burst out from the eyes. However, under the collision, the lightning had broken through the divine light like a pinch and directly hit the eyes. God! The black eyes were torn apart fiercely, and a black blood stain permeated from the eyes. Immediately, the black eyes disappeared directly into the altar. The black eyes disappeared, and the golden iron chain emerging from the void disappeared. It is not non-existent, but there is no way to see it with the naked eye. Is this the forbidden seal left by Tiandao at the beginning, and no strong man above the level of the state of law was allowed to intervene in the operation of all things and kill the logging? The forbidden seal of heaven is unprovocable. Fusion of all walks of life, thousands of races gathered together, use the killing to compete for the real protagonist of the heaven and earth. A thought naturally came to mind. However, it is obviously too early to think of these now. The battlefield has completely changed due to the recent changes. A large number of aliens fled the battlefield, and the scorpion people took the seriously wounded scorpion and left quickly from the ground. The entire battlefield is still full of killings. Many soldiers in groups of 3 or 5, with cold faces, sought to kill the fleeing aliens. A stranger kept falling on the battlefield. Expensive. Just then, an amazing roar sounded in the void. There was a dragon-like sound in the roar. In the void, he presented a strange picture. Even this kind of scene can be clearly seen by all soldiers and ordinary people. Above Xuanwang town, a golden ichthyosaur rises into the sky, coiling in the void, the ichthyosaur is 3 or 4 feet long, the golden dragon must be fluttering in the wind, and 2 eyes past the color of excitement. Outside the battlefield, it can be seen that several terrible figures have also appeared. A tall ogre, a huge wolf, a dark Scorpio, an unreal venomous snake and an unreal venomous bird. This is the spirit of luck. There was a dignity in Liu Shimei's eyebrows, and he said flatly. How can the spirit of luck be revealed at this moment? Is it to plunder and devour? My Xuanwang town has a stable victory and no twists and turns. The winner is the king and the loser is the culprit. Is this to capture the fruits of victory? Yi Tianxing also secretly looked at the void in surprise. But I can clearly feel the excitement and longing from the golden ichthyosaur. It was a strong urge to see food. Expensive. After circling for a few times, he didn't hesitate anymore, and rushed towards the unreal python first. A fierce bite on the python was drained as if it were spirit, and could not resist at all. It was bitten by a dragon and swallowed on the spot. When this piece of flesh went down, a layer of golden light bloomed on the ichthyosaur, and the body quickly grew an inch. As the swallow continues, the ichthyosaurs continue to grow. In just a few breaths, a python was swallowed. After being completely swallowed, Yulong's body reached 5 feet in length. Followed, and pounced on the elusive fierce bird. The furious bird wanted to resist, but seemed to be weak, and in a flash, it was torn and swallowed. The ichthyosaur is longer. The ichthyosaur pounced on the ogre again. The ogre was also fierce and killed together with ichthyosaurs, but was greatly suppressed. After being torn off half of his body by ichthyosaurs, he roared unwillingly and disappeared. Then, the ichthyosaur also rushed to the jackal, Scorpio. That jackal was eaten half, while Scorpio was eaten a third. Then, the wolves and Scorpio disappeared. In the process, the ichthyosaur's body expanded like a balloon. In just a few moments, it reached over 8 feet, and it was no longer far away from Zhejiang. After the fish and dragon swallowed all the spirits of Qian, he happily circled over Xuanwang town for a few laps, and in a dragon chant, drilled into Yuntianqi again. Disappeared. An endless stream of air transport converged towards the air transport Tianqi. What was just revealed should be the spirit of luck of alien races. There are illusions, like real ones. Illusions may be temporarily gathered together, not fully integrated. It is like a group of snakes, and an army of fierce birds. Under the deterrence of the king of blue pythons and the king of function pterosaurs, they were forcibly integrated and rectified into an army, so the spirit of luck that emerged was not only illusory but also powerless. Quote, an alien race is defeated, but it is not extinction. The luck ichthyosaur can only devour a part of those alien races. The remaining part cannot be devoured temporarily. Is this a rule of heaven and earth? Even so, the growth of Kia Yulong is an inestimable harvest and saves a lot of time. Once the ichthyosaur reaches 9 feet, it can be transformed. Only war can capture Qian so quickly. Strength in itself. There is no such thing as raising a war through war. Quote, Yi Tianxing's heart secretly gave birth to a little insight. www.novelhall.com, the war is so cruel. If Xuanwang town was defeated today, the dragon would be divided up by other aliens. There is no right or wrong, only victory and defeat. This victory is just a miserable victory. Looking up, I only saw that a large area in Xuanwang town had been ruined during the war. The collapsed walls, collapsed houses and buildings were full of corpses, the bones were everywhere, and the earth cracked. This battle, for Xuanwang town, caused a lot of damage. If it were not for seizing the opportunity and forcibly killing the king who struck the alien leader, the casualties caused would be even worse. This is only the first large-scale war with aliens. In the future, such wars will not be less. Wars make people grow. Next time, aliens may not give me the opportunity to kill the leader of the king. Shoot people first and shoot horses. Capture the thief and capture the king first. A big factor in winning this time is that the alien did not really value the strength of the human race. Quote, Yi Tianxing groaned thoughtfully. Chapter 331, United. Welcome you, please remember the address of this site, mobile phone reading, so that you can always read the latest chapter of the novel, Eternal Kingdom. The first war, neither alien nor human, was unprepared and lacked a real sense of war. It's like a real commander who never puts himself in danger easily. For a commander, being a soldier is important, but being alive is more important. Being alive is a living banner that can affect the battle situation. The blow to the army is bound to be huge, and it may make its soldiers become morning soldiers, but after the morning soldiers collapse, the consequences are devastating. On the battlefield, the sound of killing kept disappearing. A large number of aliens fell in succession and could not escape the archer's slaughter. Woo-woo. In Xuanwang Town, a large number of people looked at the destroyed houses and various buildings. During the slaughter, the extremely miserable compatriots, the soldiers, and the women, could not help the grief in their hearts, and gave out a sobbing cry. This sadness is contagious. Let a large number of women cry and whisper, the men are stronger, but at this moment, watching the comrades who died in the battle, brothers, also have tears in their eyes. Among those killed in the war, there were people they knew, some acquaintances who had eaten and talked together before, bragging about the future. Now seeing these familiar faces, one by one into a cold body, the sorrow in my heart can't be stopped. The number of soldiers and civilians killed in battle is calculated by tens of thousands. For Xuanwang Town, this was a disastrous victory. Although victory, it paid a painful price. Our home has been ruined. Uncle Li is dead. He is gone with an alien and didn't embarrass us in Xuanwang Town. But I can't see Uncle Li smile at me again. ... A murmur murmured in the battlefield, and the town rang. There are also many foreign monks who died in battle. Here, they are also heroic. Huang Chengyan came to Yi Tianxing and gestured with his eyes. The whole town of Xuanwang is full of sadness, which is not a good thing after all. At this moment, it was a time of inner emptiness, the most lost and bewildered. It is also the time when the spiritual pillar is most needed. Huang Chengyan understood this, and Yi Tianxing was naturally very clear. Looking at a tragic battlefield, stepping on the remaining city walls step by step, an invisible momentum naturally exudes. No matter at any time, every move of Yi Tianxing is still the thing that everyone is most concerned about. Seeing him ascending the city wall, all eyes gather unconsciously. Generals, people, brothers and sisters. Don't cry, eternal continent, don't need tears. Yi Tianxing slowly exhaled a long breath, exhaled, and said loudly. The voice of infuriating resounded throughout the battlefield, so that everyone could hear, and could not help but produce a trace of vibration. This is the eternal continent. I only believe in iron and blood, but not tears. Tears can only make people weak, and iron blood can make them strong. The city walls are broken, we can rebuild, our homes are ruined, and we can rebuild. As long as we are still standing here, that land belongs to our humanity and belongs to our Xuanwang Town. As long as we are alive, no matter where we are can rebuild a new home. Quote, my Xuanwang Town is a stubborn rock that can't be broken and struck. There are so many soldiers, and the people are willing to die for their lives in order to defend their homeland. What reason is not good to live well? Not only to live, but also to replace the dead soldiers, the people live better. Create a civilization that belongs to our humanity. Quote, every word conveyed a strong conviction that kept the low sentiments of the soldiers and the people on the battlefield constantly rising. My heart groaned secretly. Yeah, the dead are dead, they are fighting to protect us. Don't be sad, take their share and live better. With their ideals, build a better home. This world never believed in tears. Only strength, only oneself strong, can protect everything that they care about. Break a Xuanwang Town, we can build another, 2, 3. And our future Xuanwang Town, Xuanwang City, is not here, but here. Yi Tianxing looked at the ruins in front of him and waved his hand, only to see that an ancient picture flashing with endless divine light appeared in the void. The divine light flowed on this ancient picture, and suddenly, you can see an elusive ancient city appears in the sky. You can see that this ancient city has no city walls at all, it is natural, the palace is towering inside, and the attic is like rain. There are fairy birds flying, there are spirit beasts walking through, dragons and phoenixes are auspicious, and there are countless fairy houses in it. Vigorous atmosphere, it's like seeing a fairyland fairy city in my heart. Even when Huang Chengyan and Lu Shi saw it, they couldn't help thinking about it. Compared with the picture shown in the sky, the former Xuanwang Town is like a pheasant in the mountains. Will this be the city we will live in the future? A thought almost came to everyone's mind, even those foreign monks. There is a feeling that that is the real fairy city. However, as the vision changed, all visions disappeared in a blink of an eye. In its place is a huge unreal image that looks like an unreal platform. It is the foundation of an ancient city. The ancient city is illusory. People have to secretly marvel. This one is an embryo of a supreme city. It has endless possibilities. Although it is only an embryo, I believe that as long as we work together, we will be able to create a peerless city that will stun all eternity. It will be a holy place for my people. The dragon fights in the wild, its blood is black, and I am not afraid of any strong enemy. Even in the bones of thousands of people, we must forge our supreme city. Quote. Yi Tianxing pointed at the Void Supreme Artifact map and said flatly. Word by word, slamming on the hearts of everyone. I don't know how many people were shocked and yearned for the Shancheng weather that I saw before. When I heard that I might cast such a ***** city in the future, my heart could not help but violently pulsate, my blood would swell and my face would turn red. Great, we can definitely cast the supreme immortal city we just saw. Create a holy place for humankind. Xuanwang town is ruined, and we can rebuild a better one. More perfect. I'm really looking forward to it. I don't know how long it takes for such a supreme fairy city to be cast out. Where will it be our eternal home? I don't know how such a fairy city can be minted. It's just an embryo. I don't know what it takes. Even if I lose my family, I will do my part. A common soldier was an embryo in the sky, and now there was no vision, and he seemed to be more down to earth in the base of the fairy city, showing his expectation. As if in my eyes, I have seen the amazing fairy city in the future. In their hearts, it has been determined that this is the future Xuanwang city, the home where they will live in the future. Even to build a holy place for adult people. Without knowing it, an invisible stream of wishes radiated continuously from every soldier and the people. Converge directly towards the supreme artifact map. Traces. This is popular wish. Vaguely, the whole divine figure became a little clearer. Illusion is a little less, a kind of thick. People are willing to converge, and everyone will become a city. Seeing that, his face changed, Lu Shi muttered to himself. People's wishes, willingness can make the embryo transform towards reality. Yi Tianxing saw, a flash of light flashed in his mind, and muttered to himself, the materials for casting the supreme artifact are extremely limited, ordinary materials it is impossible to cast top-level artifacts, precious materials but cannot be obtained on a large scale. To cast a city, it is simply a foolish dream. However, if you use the power of beads as a material, you may not be able to cast a supreme city, supreme artifact. May Lizu not be inferior to any natural treasure. Even more precious. Quote. Others can't get it, but I can rely on the money tree and money to connect the world, and continually gather the will and gather the beads of will. Maybe I can't create a large city in the beginning, but I do need much now, as long as the subsequent if you wish Lizu, you can continue to expand the fairy city. The fairy city condensed by wish Lizu can naturally gather the vitality of heaven and earth, and the speed of cultivation must be thousands of miles. Quote. What is willingness is obsession. The purest will is the immortal obsession. The immortal fairy city was forged with immortal obsession. Definitely the most perfect method. This discovery will instantly solve a difficult problem in my heart. Using the beads of hope to create the supreme city, this is the best method for me. Other ways to find heaven and earth treasures are not practical for me. The goddess Jane should be inferior. Quote. Yi Tianxing secretly groaned and had made a decision in his heart. Watching a group of people willing to converge towards the supreme artifact map. Then turned to look at the blue poisonous mist still slowly spreading on the battlefield. The horror and poison caused by the king of green pythons can't be ignored. Once it spreads again, this piece of Xuanwang town will not be able to keep it. It's very toxic. www.novelhall.com, I can't help it, please take it. With a wave of Yi Tianxing, Hongmeng Tiandi Tower has turned into a streamer and plunged directly into the blue poisonous mist. As soon as it entered, the poisonous mist began to roll around suddenly, and it seemed that a force was stirring the situation. Followed by, a vortex began to form in the poisonous mist, and under constant rotation, a large number of poisonous mists were drawn in crazy. The poisonous mist, which had spread to a small area, began to shrink at a speed that was visible to the naked eye. This process is amazing. In a blink of an eye, the overwhelming blue poisonous mist disappeared. Ding! The moment the poisonous mist completely dissipated, can see. A cyan bead dropped near the Hongmeng Tiandi Tower. What? Hongmeng Tiandi Tower turned into a streamer, re-drilled into the body and suppressed in Shanghai. Chapter 332, Iron Blood Great Wall. Welcome you, please remember the address of this site. Mobile phone reading, so that you can always read the latest chapter of the novel, Eternal Kingdom. When the cyan bead was about to be ingested, suddenly, a hole opened in the ground, a black weird snake emerged, and the cyan bead was swallowed. With a twist of head, he went into the ground again. In this process, it was as fast as lightning, which made people suddenly stunned. They had disappeared without time to respond. I was too busy recovering the Hongmengtiandi tower, and I didn't realize that there would be such a change. When he reacted again, the weird viper had disappeared. Not even a trace of the air machine could be found. It's a weird snake that can't even detect the ventilator. It's amazingly fast. It can also walk away from the ground and hide its body. It should not be an ordinary snake. Yi Tianxing saw that he frowned slightly. He could still feel a pure poisonous life in that cyan bead. The consequences of being swallowed by a poisonous snake are difficult to estimate. It's too late to hunt, the snake's hiding method is quite good, and it doesn't feel any chance. If you want to find it, you can't find it. You steal the cyan beads, and you don't know where you fled. Left and right were only a cyan snake bead, which was stolen, and Yi Tianxing didn't care. The mind was on Hongmengtiandi Tower. I only saw that after devouring a large amount of poisonous life, these poisonous poisons contain strong life force. In chaotic space, it is quickly transformed into chaotic air, and once again perfused into the other 13 pagoda spaces. Let the pagoda space begin to expand violently again. This poison is not mortal. Consume a lot of chaos gas. Regardless of whether it is chaos space or other space inside the tower, the range of 1 square mile has been increased accordingly. Make the pagoda's heritage even stronger. Looking at the void, the supreme divine figure faintly gave birth to a mystery under the gathering of people's wishes. It seems to be starting to have a mysterious connection with the luck of Xuanwang Town. That being the case, today, in this ruin, lays a stronger foundation for our Xuanwang Town. A fascination flashed in Yi Tianxing's eyes, and then his heart moved, driving this supreme artifact embryo to crush down towards the ground. That picture is like a city base rolling down. Many people's faces subconsciously showed a shock. But the embryo fell down too fast, there was no time to dodge, and it had fallen. The embryo seemed to be illusory. Whether it touched a person or an object, the building easily penetrated it. Touch it with the earth and blend in naturally. Disappear. Others can't feel it, but Yi Tianxing clearly feels that an inexplicable change is being born in Xuanwang Town. This embryo is integrated into the earth, and it is no different from the earth, but the supreme artifact map has already existed in the spirit and blood, and the cost of sacrifice is as high as a treasure. The most important thing is that the supreme artifact map will not be swallowed by the Hongmengtiandi Tower. The two are fine. The embryo is now integrated into the earth, covering Xuanwang Town. Instantly, I felt that the original Qian Tianqi was naturally integrated into the embryo, and together with the Parliament Hall, that is, the mayor's mansion, merged with the embryo and fit perfectly. Both are connected to the Yishan Xingqi machine and instinctively blend together. There are moon wells, 2 arrow towers, 2 magic towers, Tongtian Pavilion, and Tibetan Sutra Pavilion. These exotic buildings were all instinctively integrated into them and became part of them. The air and machine are connected, so that several exotic buildings can shine bright light at the same time. Several of Qibao's air machines are strangely connected to each other. However, these visions disappeared in an instant. Father, this embryo is the best embryo to cast Xuanwang Town. Qian Tianqi fits the embryo very well. Even the degree of converging Qian is faster and more stable. Once cast, the potential is infinite, and the original difference in the town treasure buildings, at this moment, are all integrated into the embryo and connected to the fairy city embryos so that they can completely express their magic. The origin has been connected to the embryos. Once the fairy city is cast, the fairy city will transform, and the different treasures will follow it. It does not affect them. The potential of evolution. At this moment, the voice of Xingwang and Xinghai sounded in her head, and in her words, she also revealed a hint of excitement. The heavens and earth are all born with congenital birth. The instinct has the spirituality that allows them to make the most appropriate choice in the first place. Directly fused with the supreme artifact embryo, the origin is connected. Lose everything and lose glory. It can be said that when making this choice, these exotic treasures are completely related and inseparable from the future Xuanwang Town, Xuanwang City. Okay, Xinghai, it won't be long before your coverage is bound to expand several times. Yi Tianxing nodded secretly when he heard it. The integration of different treasure buildings and embryos is something he likes. At present, the earth underneath is still the earth, and the embryo is integrated into it. These are long to say, but they are only in the blink of an eye. It has been completely completed. Where's that fairy city? It's gone. I saw that fairy city go straight to the ground. Is it now at our feet? Just now, those exotic treasure buildings are shining, and they should be related to Shanchang. We should now be standing in the fairy city. At that scene, naturally, it cannot be ignored. One by one imprinted in the soul, it is almost indelible. Eternal life is hard to forget. Vaguely, it seemed that even the ground beneath it had become a little different. Don't have to be sad, because the heroes who died in battle will always guard everyone. From then on, we will no longer need the city walls in Xuanwang town. Their bones and flesh will become our most solid iron blood Great Wall. Yi Tianxing looked at the people in the town, the soldiers, and the soldiers who were going to converge the soldiers' bodies. He said suddenly, "The walls of Xuanwang town have been destroyed. Since it has been destroyed, there is no need to rebuild it. If there is an irresistible enemy, even if there is a city wall, it will not help. He has better options." As soon as the voice fell, the light in his hand flashed, and he could see that an elusive city wall appeared in his hand. The wall was blood red, exuding a tragic evil spirit, and a sense of war. There seemed to be an immortal conviction. On this wall, part of it is condensed into substance, and every city brick exudes an immortal faith and an immortal warfare. What is this? A section of the wall. Why do I look at this wall? I have a feeling of crying, as if I saw my compatriots and comrades who died in the battlefield in the past. Friends. I feel it too, as if there is an involuntary respect. I seem to hear the killing. What Yi Tianxing took out again attracted everyone's attention for the first time. This thing can be seen at a glance that it is a section of the city wall, which is not very long. It looks like an indescribable sense of security. This is a feeling from the heart. Very strong. Huang Chengyan and Lu Shi looked curiously, but didn't say much, just secretly expecting. After all, the treasures from Yi Tianxing's hands have always been nothing ordinary. Brush. The pocket wall in his hand was thrown in the air under a throw. Circling on the battlefield, everywhere I saw, the corpse of a soldier was suddenly ingested by an invisible force, and in an instant, it turned into blood-colored city bricks and drilled into the pocket walls. As the city bricks piled up, the wall grew to a degree that was visible to the naked eye. Battle, 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 kill. Even if you die, you have to kill one more alien. Even if you die, you have to pull one back. Can't retreat. Behind me is the people. Behind us is our home. The home has been destroyed once, and it must not be destroyed a second time. Interracial, I am not afraid. You will also have your teeth broken by death. For the human race and for dignity, we must never retreat. What about the beast? Our people are not bully. I only saw that there seemed to be loud shouts from the walls. Seems to be able to see a famous soldier killing in the blood. You can see the people bravely killing the enemy. The shadow of a celebrity martyr is flashing. A warrior's body and the people's corpses were quickly integrated into the city walls, so that the city walls continued to become stronger, and a block of city bricks was condensed by the blood and flesh. Be part of the city wall. The corpses of these soldiers and the people turned out to be integrated into the city wall and turned into a city brick. This wall was cast out of the dead human soldiers and the bones of the people. The protagonist said before that war dead have another destination, no burial, no sorrow, they have not left, their flesh and bones have been turned into city walls, and their beliefs always endure in the city walls. Their will never perish. Quote, if the city walls can protect the homeland, www.novelhall.com, protect Xuanwang town and the people, I will be buried in this city wall and become one of the city bricks. Even if I die, my flesh and blood, is still guarding the human race. Quote, some soldiers looked at the city wall, showing a solitary color, murmured to himself. The home of the soldiers and soldiers lies on the battlefield. The mission of the soldiers is to guard. If the race can survive better in this eternal Big Six, they are willing to use their flesh and blood to create an immortal great wall of flesh and blood. This is another kind of immortality, even if the soul is absent, it can survive forever. In the blink of an eye, on the battlefield, all human bodies, flesh and blood, all merged into the Great Wall. Brush. The Great Wall flew in the sky. Flying towards the distance, it appeared directly above the canyon, fell down, and fell directly on the mountain peak, turning into a huge city wall with a height of 3 feet, rolling up and down, and covering a nearby area. Along the curve of the mountain peaks, it continues to stretch for 3 kilometers. The ups and downs are like a giant city wall. This one is the Iron Blood Great Wall. Chapter 333. Willing to be buried at the Great Wall. Welcome you. Please remember the address of this site. Mobile phone reading, so that you can always read the latest chapter of the novel, Eternal Kingdom. Find a monthly pass. Network. This one is the world treasure that Yi Tianxing acquired during the Great Disaster. After getting it that year, it has not been hidden. Because this iron and blood Great Wall needs to be cast with endless flesh and bones, it needs too much flesh and bones. The flesh and bones of ordinary people, all flesh and blood, can only be turned into a small city brick. The more powerful monks are, the more bricks they can transform into. The stronger the strength, the more power there is in flesh and blood, and the more bricks can be gathered. Moreover, at the beginning, casting from the flesh and blood of soldiers can better condense the immortal will. This is why Yi Tianxing would collect the corpses of those soldiers who died before the war. What is collected is not the soul, but it is their immortal will. Condensed in flesh and blood, condensed on the city wall, to a certain extent, this is another kind of new life. As the years change, these wills will be immortal. It was not intended to come out so soon. However, even the supreme artifact map has been taken out this time, and the Iron Blood Great Wall is not indispensable. Just for everyone to think about it. Let's pin it together. Among human beings, since ancient times, they have the idea of entering the earth to rest in peace and leave the leaves to return to their roots. For a long time, the dead soldiers and bodies had disappeared in his hands. It has also become a kind of suspicion for a long time. That being the case, be honest. Their bones and flesh formed the current Iron Blood Great Wall. Seeing this Iron Blood Great Wall is like seeing former comrades in arms, friends, brothers. Moreover, there is a hidden danger. After all, not everyone is willing to use their own flesh and blood to mold the Great Wall. At this moment, watching the Great Wall stand in the distance, soaring. The smelt of iron blood. Guard the will. I know that without the wishes of everyone, the people agreed to use their bones and flesh to cast the Iron Blood Great Wall. This is my solitary destiny and it is unfair. But if I take out this Iron Blood Great Wall today, already intended to be frank. Giving a chance to choose is irrelevant to morality and public opinion, only on your own will. Quote. Yi Tianxing looked at Lieutenant General Xuanwang and the people who were silent, and said flatly. There is no cover in words. Today he doesn't say, maybe nobody will say anything, but he will form a needle and a thorn in his heart. After all, the deceased is big, and it is a disrespectful behavior to rashly move others' bodies. Now he was going to pull this thorn. When he was in charge of Xuanwang town, Yi Tianxing's own spirit was constantly changing. Eyes are very different from before. Look longer. The protagonist does not need to do this. I believe that those soldiers and people who died in battle to protect Xuanwang town will certainly be willing to continue to protect everyone with their wreckage. Huang Chengyan said. Yeah, we have no breeds in Xuanwang town. All of them are ***** men who dare to fight with fierce beasts. Can they not even care about their lives before, and do they still care about the corpse after death? If I fight to death, I would rather Jia Yukan buried under the Iron Blood Great Wall. Do your best to protect the human race. Jia Yukan also stood out and said loudly. It goes without saying that today is the day of setting up the Iron Blood Great Wall. Today is the 15th day of the first year of the eternal calendar. I will sacrifice to the soldiers and the people who have died all the way to Xuanwang Township. Yi Tianxing didn't accept it. Some things must be done. Standing on the city wall, looking at the Iron Blood Great Wall in the distance, there was a solitude, solemnity, and slowly spit out a voice. Today, the master of Wu Xuanwang town, Yi Tianxing, please heaven and earth witness, sacrificing my people to the war dead hero. The voice was slowly permeating the entire town of Xuanwang under the perfusion of qi, echoing on the battlefield. The entire battlefield was suddenly quiet. His eyes were hot to Yi Tianxing. My people, since the integration of all realms, derived from the eternal Big Six, no hundreds of people have become fierce beasts, monsters, blood from the mouths of alien races, jungles, wilderness, plains, tired bones, witnessing the tragedy of my people. Today there are people warrior, rise to be unwilling to be bloody, full of anger, fight with blood, fight with fierce beasts, fight against monsters, and confront alien flesh and blood. Blood-stained earth, vast corpses. Open up a place for the reproduction of human races. My people have a place to stand. Quote. Heroes of human race, strong. May my people be heroic, and will last forever. Word by word, the generals and soldiers on the battlefield shook their minds, and remembered the difficult situation they had experienced before, the suffering they suffered, step by step to the present, and established that they can now fight with other races and win. Xuanwang Town. This feeling is even more profound. Involuntarily, someone shouted, "May my people be heroic, and my will last forever. May my people be heroic, and will last forever." Unconsciously, no matter whether it was a soldier, the people, or even a foreign monk, they shouted unconsciously. There was nothing in my heart. Swipe. The iron blood Great Wall trembled, and in all the blood, we can see that a figure of a famous man and a common people emerged from the iron blood Great Wall. These figures showed a strong sense of war, a terrible killing, always immortal. What is this? Why did I see Uncle Lee? Didn't Uncle Lee die before the battle? I saw Daniel. I remember that he was killed when fighting with a beast, but he was good. Before the death, he killed several beasts. That's Lao Chin, I remember, he used a **** to shoot an alien warrior. But he also died heroically. These are their souls. At this moment, many people on the battlefield could not help but burst into exclaim. With their eyes fixed on the iron blood Great Wall, it is clear that this is not fake. It is true. They have been killed before, but now they can see them. This must be their soul, the ghost. Yes, these are indeed the souls of those soldiers and people who died in the war. This eternal Big Six has just been born, and the situation is unknown. The iron blood Great Wall also has the ability to allow when to raise souls and store souls. Their flesh and blood become part of the iron blood Great Wall and they are eligible to reside in it. Of course, as long as they are willing, they can get out and go to reincarnation at any time. All previous souls slept in the iron blood Great Wall. Now, in the sound of sacrifice, they wake up. At the moment of awakening, the message from the iron blood Great Wall has made these souls understand the current situation, and even the status quo of Xuanwang Town. One by one, his face was gratified. Their sacrifice was not in vain, and their blood was not in vain. Their death is meaningful. You're heroes. Before I changed to Tianxing, without your consent, I used the corpse bones to cast the Great Wall of Iron automatically. This is an improper thing for me. I hereby sacrifice the heroes and say sorry to you. Anyone who is unwilling to turn their own flesh and bones into city bricks and cast city walls. Just say, I will take out the corpse and wait for you to bury it again. Don't worry about it. I will not like it. This is voluntary and not coercive. And, no matter what you choose, you will be sacrificed to the heroes every year on this day. Quote. Word by word conveys a convincing belief. It is believed that these things can be achieved when they are spoken out, not from the heart. Yi Tianxing said these words from his heart. If anyone really does not want to, he will directly take out their bodies and bury them properly. After all, they are warriors and heroes who have shed blood for Xuanwang Town. Worth to respect. You are polite. I waited for the flesh and bones to be buried in the earth, but it turned into a pile of loess and was swallowed by beasts and beasts. There is no point in burial. Nowadays, the human race is difficult. The city brick, a cornerstone, makes more sense. My flesh and blood is the Great Wall, which will always guard Xuanwang Town. Quote. When a soldier Yingying heard it, he shouted immediately, his face was full of determination. Yes, I will use my flesh and blood to cast this immortal Great Blood Wall. Even if I die, my flesh and blood can still guard this land. How can I lose one of such valuable things? The hero of the common people also exclaimed. They would rather have their bodies become part of the iron blood Great Wall. The Great Wall is immortal, and their will last forever. Immortal. This is troubled times. In troubled times, the bones are buried in the earth. Who knows what ferocious beast will fall into the next moment and become a meal? They will be buried for a long time, that is, a pile of white bones, which will turn into loess. How can we integrate into the iron blood Great Wall and turn it into a brick? They would rather be buried at the Great Wall. No British soul made the decision to separate flesh and blood from the iron blood Great Wall. Yeah, www.novelhall.com, we buried the corpses in order to entrust our fond memories and to sacrifice our ancestors. In the end, though, a cup of loess might as well fit into the iron blood Great Wall, which not only can protect future generations but also truly immortal extinction will endure forever. Every year sacrifice, you can admire your ancestors. Quote. After I die, I should be buried in the iron blood Great Wall. If I die in battle, I will become a Great Wall and protect the human race. From the words of many British souls on the iron blood Great Wall, Countless people were touched, and their eyes when looking at the Iron Blood Great Wall suddenly changed. Burying where is not a burial. Burying on the Iron Blood Great Wall is more valuable than burying the earth. The vaguely uncomfortable heart suddenly opened up. It only felt that the fact that Yi Tianxing had rushed to cast the Iron Blood Great Wall from the corpse of the war dead of the human race was a gift to the war dead and the highest honor to the soldiers. After I die, I'd like to be buried in the Iron Blood Great Wall. An idea unconsciously appeared in the minds of most soldiers and ordinary people, and could not help but take root, and sooner or later it would sprout. Chapter 334. Sacrifices to Aliens. Find Zhang. Close black lens bracket. My people's spirits are immortal. When they are sacrificed, today is the day of my eternal sacrifices in Xuanwang Town, July 15th, for the Great Wall spiritual sacrifice. The corpse of this alien on the battlefield is the sacrifice. Quote. Yi Tianxing took a deep breath and looked at the heroic spirit that appeared on the Iron Blood Great Wall. These soldiers, the people who fell for the survival of the human race, deserve respect from anyone. Without them, there would be no Xuanwang Town today. Brush. As soon as the words came down, a thick layer of iron blood ***** light naturally bloomed on the Iron Blood Great Wall, covering the entire battlefield like a tide. On the battlefield, we can see that a famous ogre, a wolf man, and even a corpse of a scorpion are all enveloped in light in a flash, and turned into blood, and headed for the Iron Blood Great Wall. Appeared on the Iron Blood Great Wall, the corpses of these aliens have turned into bricks and merged into the Iron Blood Great Wall. However, the color of these city bricks is dark black, and there is also a trace on these dark black city bricks. Remnant will of the Silk Aliens. Contains resentment and resentment towards the human race. Various unwilling kill ideas. Condensed or dark black city bricks. Piece by piece into the Iron Blood Great Wall. Condensed in the middle of the original bright red Iron Blood city bricks. Such dark black city bricks are gathered one by one. Some aliens have huge strength and blood, and a body can condense several city bricks. Into it, the entire Iron Blood Great Wall began to extend outward at a speed visible to the naked eye, and continued to expand. 3 kilometers, 4 kilometers, 5 kilometers, 6 kilometers. After all the alien corpses have been devoured, the Iron Blood Great Wall has become dark red, reaching more than 6,000 meters in length. Already has the scale and momentum of the Great Wall. Kill, 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 slay humans, kill humans, humans will be our blood. Not willing, how could I die in the hands of humans? I'm not willing. As soon as these dark black city bricks were integrated into the Great Wall, suddenly, from those city bricks, black resentments erupted, not the soul, but strong resentments, unwilling to kill. The will remaining in the flesh. Gathered together, and screamed, it seemed that the entire Great Wall of iron blood would be broken. Kill. At this moment, those spirits are showing cold colors, wielding weapons, bombarding the grievances in the past, and the grievances are defeated. At the same time, they are swallowed up by the spirit. After absorbing the grievances, you can see that the hero's body has become more condensed. The emitted air is stronger, and the dark black city bricks are also covered by a trace of blood, constantly eroding and rendering. There is a black gas on the dark black city bricks, and it will be quickly defeated by the hero, and will collapse into the body. The body becomes more condensed, and these blackness and resentment are, to them, a great tonic. Pieces of dark black walls, when the heroes devoured those resentments and defeated the grievances, transformed at a speed visible to the naked eye, and transformed toward the blood color. This process is not slow. Once completely red, it will become a part of the Iron Blood Great Wall. It is no different from the city bricks transformed by other human warriors. But it takes time. Only at this moment, the Iron Blood Great Wall possesses the immortal will of a large number of human warriors, and even the presence of heroes, can it be thoroughly refined and absorbed into the flesh and bones of alien races for its own use. Become the most solid cornerstone. If the eternal continent really has reincarnation, then the hero can devour these resentments and remnants to strengthen the soul. It is good for reincarnation. Yi Tianxing looked at the picture of the Iron Blood Great Wall. Many heroes kept suppressing and devouring grievances, and his heart groaned secretly. The Iron Blood Great Wall cannot store their heroic soul forever. Once a certain time limit is exceeded, great troubles will occur, with huge consequences. But just staying for a year or two is perfectly fine, as long as you have something to entrust. Even the stronger the soul, the more benefits you will get during reincarnation. Once the limit is 7 years, if you do not reincarnate in 7 years, you will stay in the sun, or you will become a ghost cultivation, or you will encounter other calamities. According to legend, there are ghost soldiers in the land government, just to catch these ghosts who are stranded in the sun and do not go to reincarnation. As for whether the eternal continent has ***** in reincarnation, even Yi Tianxing knows it. This is no longer the area he can now cover. Therefore, what Yi Tianxing hopes most is that these heroes reside in the Iron Blood Great Wall for 7 years, and then go to reincarnation to be born again. Start a new life. In the process, annual sacrifice and sacrifices continued for 7 years, enough to make their heroic souls more condensed. You can get more benefits during reincarnation, and also make the Iron Blood Long Town press the fusion of alien corpses faster. It can be said that everyone is happy and good. Besides, even if the soul is reincarnation, the immortal will in this Iron Blood Great Wall still persists. If possible, Yi Tianxing hopes to build an Iron Blood Great Wall with the bones of aliens. There will never be fewer wars in the future. Well, a great iron-blooded wall, my people are heroic, they will last forever, and they will last forever. Huang Chengyan said with sigh, bowing slightly to the Iron Blood Great Wall and worshipping far away. Human spirit, worship. Even foreign monks bowed to the Iron Blood Great Wall with a look of sincerity and sincere worship. Where the Great Wall goes, it is the territory of Xuanwang Town. Yi Tianxing's eyes were deep and he slowly uttered a voice. The territory of the Iron Blood Great Wall is human territory. It's a place where humans breed. Unless the Great Wall is breached and destroyed, otherwise, this will become a reality. Huang Lao, I will support you to clear the ruins in the town. I will take a look at the specific number of soldiers and civilians who have fallen in this war. The name will be immortal with the Great Wall, accepting admiration and worship from future generations. This is an honor they should enjoy. Quote. Yi Tianxing glanced at Xuanwang Town. There were ruins and broken scenes everywhere. To clear things up, naturally he did not need to take the shot himself. Huang Chengyan also didn't eat dry rice. Well, my subordinates know. Huang Chengyan nodded and promised. Cleaning the battlefield was presided over by the Wanbao Palace. Shui Jin, after you check it, register it. I will check it at that time. Yi Tianxing looked at Shui Jin with a savvy and capable face and continued to command. My lord, rest assured, there is no shortage of a needle and a thread with me. Shui Jin patted his chest and said confidently. I believe in you. Yi Tianxing nodded and said slowly. There are also Taoists who came to assist me in Xuanwang Town. Many Taoists have been fighting in the blood on the battlefield and killed in battle. The rest of you have also worked hard to fight with other races. If you are friends, if you are not in a hurry to leave, you can take a break in my Xuanwang Town. In the town, you can eat and drink without any problems. You should treat your friends. Show your heart. Quote. Yi Tianxing looked at a group of foreign monks. They had been killed in the blood before and helped kill the other races. Here, they were friends. Naturally they will not treat them. Not to mention, there is no problem in free activities and eating and drinking. Lai He, leave this to your gourmet restaurant. The prince is assured that our gourmet restaurant will show the best cooking skills and entertain all the friends. Lai He also said confidently. In culinary arts, naturally his food hall is unwilling. Thank you Yi Daoyu. A group of foreign monks bowed to Yi Tianxing and thanked them. Yi Daoyu, this Fu Daoyu has been conspired because he fought with the scorpion. Now he is very toxic and has fallen into a coma. I don't know if there is a way to save it. Bu Jingyan walked over to help Fu Hongxue who was in a coma, and looked directly at Yi Tianxing. Zongko said. Yi Tianxing looked at it, and he couldn't help but be surprised. He can see that Fu Hongshui's face has been covered with a layer of dark gas. He has fallen into a coma, and his inner spirit works, confidently resisting the poisonous attack. Before that, he also saw that Fu Hongxue was conspired by the scorpion. Under one blow, he was extremely poisonous. He did not expect that this kind of poison was so violent. In such a short time, it has begun to spread, resulting in a coma. Reaching out and resting on Fu Hongshui's pulse, the pulse beat was extremely weak. A true dragon's breath penetrated into the body along the meridians. As soon as I went in, I immediately felt that a black gas was sweeping quickly, and I wanted to smash it and erode it. But Junlong's qi is very overbearing. Where can I allow the poison to attack myself, growling and rushing to kill me? The poison is also very weird, turning it into a dark magic scorpion, entangled with the true dragon transformed by the true dragon's spirit. Constantly kill. A scorpion's tail kept waving, piercing the true dragon. Let the real dragon's body keep shrinking, but the real dragon also exploded, the body shot by a devil's claw. Turns into black toxicity. However, in a blink of an eye, the crushed scorpion reunited, and even more fiercely rushed over. In a blink of an eye, www.novelhall.com, confrontation one after another. The true qi injected into Fu Hongshui's body was defeated stiffly. It's so overbearing and poisonous that I can't even dispel my anger. It's terrible. Yi Tianxing frowned slightly. I did not expect that the venom of the scorpion would be so powerful. It is indeed the most difficult kind of existence in the world. Looking at Fu Hongshui's weaker breath, he shook his head slightly, and the light in his hand flashed. Take out a jade bottle. The precious light flows on the jade bottle, and at first glance it is not ordinary. Fortunately, I have captured a lot of different treasures, and there is this 3 treasures to protect the heart. Otherwise, I am really helpless. Yi Tianxing opened the jade bottle and revealed a gold in it yellow elixir. The color is introverted, not even a hint of medicinal scent. It seems that it is no different from ordinary pills. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to start vote. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users please read. Closing parenthesis. Chapter 335. Self-recommended. This one is Sanbao Huxindan. There are too many different worlds and treasures from that cataclysmic world. There are all kinds and countless of them. Among them, there is not a small number of elixir. It was born in heaven and earth, without any impurities, and there is no trace of erysipelas. Some are just the purest medicinal power, pure energy. Such an elixir, at any time, is the supreme elixir that countless people chase. Even this was born out of heaven and earth. Its efficacy is stronger than the normal Shichengdan, and its value is truly inestimable. Sanbao Huxindan. It is made from bazaar, dog treasure, chicken treasure is the main medicine, auxiliary ginseng, ganoderma and other precious medicinal materials. It has strong effects, can treat injuries, can drive out highly toxic, even if it is frequently injured. It can also protect the vitality of the heart and even repair internal injuries after taking it. Get a glimmer of life. Holy medicine for healing, holy medicine for removing poison. This elixir can almost eliminate most of the most toxic substances in the world, even the top ones. The value is even more precious. This elixir doesn't even have a hint of medicinal scent, and there is no strange light in the whole body. This is a completely introverted medicinal property. In legend, only the top 10% Dan can have characteristics. It has been recorded in the basic elixir. Elixir. It is called Mirabilis, elixir. Is this a legendary elixir? Wang Fengxian saw with a look of horror in his eyes. With an exclamation, now he has begun to involve the magic of Dan Dao, and has begun to make some ordinary elixir. It has its own profound pharmacology as its background, and it is not as many times better than ordinary apprentices who are new to Dan. Eyesight is naturally good. Moreover, the experience is even better, and the precious part of this Sanbao Huxindan was spoken at the first time. This elixir must be of good quality. It must be extremely precious elixir with the mysteriousness of the earth. It should be the Yibao Shandan born from heaven and earth. Chu Weiming also agreed. The value of any elixir is used at the most appropriate time. Only when it is used, it has value. It stays in the hand, but it is useless. Yi Tianxing smiled indifferently, and took the hand without hesitation. Sanbao Huxindan was sent to Fu Hongshui. The elixir is melted in the mouth. A scent of fragrance emanated naturally, and Fu Hongshui's heart showed a rich layer of vitality. This vitality was centered on the heart and was spreading rapidly around him. A highly toxic force was dissipated and completely turned into nothing. This process is not slow. But it continues. The poison of Scorpio is not ordinary poison, but the poison of Scorpio. Almost deadly poison. It is quite overbearing. Even if it is Sanbao Huxindan to disperse, it will take a certain amount of time, but his life is definitely saved. Jingchun, what's the master, tell me? Cao Zhengchun had already bowed and asked for the first time. Bring this Fu Daoyu back to his house, find a room to settle down, take good care of it, and wait until he wakes up. Yi Tianxing handed Fu Hongshui to Cao Zhengchun, and he would settle it properly with his shrewdness. Without further comment, Cao Zhengchun has let Fu Hongshui leave. Footway friends, I don't know if you are interested in joining the Tongtian Pavilion. Yi Tianxing looked at Bu Jingyan in front of him and opened an invitation. Bu Jingyan's strength in front of him is quite good. The most important thing is that he contains the true meaning of martial arts. Such monks, in the same realm, have no way to look at their strength in a normal light. Bu Jingyan's talent potential is also beyond doubt. It's just that the character is too lonely. Will he agree to the invitation? Yi Tianxing has no idea in his heart. No, the world is big, I want to walk around. Maybe when I get tired, I will come back. Bu Jingyan shook his head slightly and said coldly. Yeah, the eternal continent, the world is boundless, the outside world may be more exciting and cruel. If you feel tired, Xuanwang Town will always welcome you back. Yi Tianxing nodded, and did not produce any unhappiness. This in Bu Jingyan's character is the same. Rejection is just as normal. Xuanwang Town, I will not forget. Bu Jingyan nodded his head, and did not intend to stay in Xuanwang Town, carrying his sword, and stepped outside. The cloak fluttered in the breeze. Yi Tianxing's gaze has been watching him disappear at the end of the line of sight. This is a Tianzhao carrying too many things. After leaving Xuanwang Town's sight, Bu Jingyan looked back and glanced back at the complexities in his eyes. He shook his head in my heart and said, I am the lonely star of the sky, and anyone and forces related to me will suffer doom. Xuanwang Town is a rare place for people to gather, and it may even become a holy place for people. Do not suffer doom because of me. My life is destined to be lonely. No, there is a master of wind. I am here and where are you? On the broken wall, Yi Tianxing and Kai Yan stood together. Below, he was already busy. A large number of people and soldiers are quickly cleaning the battlefield. Various weapons, residual bones, fierce beasts, and corpses of fierce birds have not been used as sacrifices before. They still remain on the battlefield. These fierce beasts, fierce birds, are all over. It's all treasure. Each one is a huge gain. These gains have also virtually dispelled the haze of war. A large number of ***** items were cleared. All kinds of broken buildings need to be cleaned up quickly in the presence of monks. There is a scene of enthusiasm and hopelessness everywhere. Below Huang Chengyan, they are running the command, and there is nothing wrong. It's all in order. Is this the war? It's been a lot of damage to the home that was built. It's all the hard work of everyone. Kai Yi looked at the broken Xuanwang Town. Compared with before the war, it is already two scenes. Women are inherently sentimental, even if she is no exception. After the destruction, there is a new life. Things are broken and they can be rebuilt. These bottles and cans are just things outside the body. As long as people are still there, everything else can be destroyed. And, I promise, in the future, no aliens can easily. Once the new Xuanwang Town was destroyed, once it was built, it would be a supreme artifact, the supreme city. At that time, it was our real home. Quote. Yi Tianxing stretched out his uncle's hand and said firmly. The supreme artifact embryo has been integrated into it, and then, the true fairy city is cast out. Once cast, nothing can attack Xuanwang Town from the ground. No power can easily destroy that fairy city. Well, I believe Brother Yi will be able to do it. Kai Yan nodded for the first time, his face was full of conviction. To create a supreme immortal city that stands on the eternal continent and faces thousands of aliens, not only does it need a great talent, a great hero, but it also needs a steady stream of talents. In order to support the left and right, grow faster. Build a human holy land. Quote. Just then, a voice came down from the wall. When the words fell, I saw that the two figures had already stepped onto the city wall and came to Yi Tianxing. A middle-aged man and a white-faced scholar. The temperament of the body can be seen at a glance, not ordinary people. Girl Zhao Ji, I've seen you before. Everybody Kai's talents. The talented daughter of Lo Yang who is well known. Qin Qi calligraphy and painting are all proficient. The song of 100 birds and phoenixes just now is amazing. Amazing. This accomplishment, it's already breathtaking. Quote. The middle-aged man with the surname of Jia looked at Kai Yan, and suddenly said with a smile. Xiao Shaoqian art is not enough, Kai Yan said with a smile. When the two came up, Yi Tianxing had noticed them. Their demeanor makes it difficult to think of it. I knew in my heart that if these two people were not idiots, then they were real talents, and they were directly found. Is this the intention to make a recommendation? My mind was turning, but there was no change in her face, and she said slowly, isn't that the two men who are so talented? Isn't it a genius? I said it wouldn't count. It would only take the approval of Mayor Yi. Jia surnamed middle-aged said calmly. Yes, if you don't agree, then we can't show our talents even if we have talents. However, talents will be revealed. Now the human race is difficult and facing many alien beasts. Everyday people die. There are also thoughts of trying to contribute to the human race. Therefore, this hastily came, and then he recommended himself. Quote, the white-faced scholar said with a straight face. Before coming here, they also communicated. In this battle, Xuanwangjian, the people and the soldiers, fought bravely and did not fear death, have deeply shocked them, instinctively want to stay here, and create for the people pure land on one side. Really can thrive, inheritance child, want to contribute, but to work hard, naturally, to find Yi Tianxing is the best way. As for any finding, when will we meet? Have been carefully considered. In the end, www.novelhall.com, Jia's surname made a decision directly in the Middle Age, and at this moment, appeared in front of Yi Tianxing and directly put forward a posture of self-recommendation. I don't know what the two people think of the current world situation. Yi Tianxing asked meaningfully. Obviously, they are testing them. Since you want wheat ears to recommend yourself, you have to show your true skills, or you have to learn without the truth. Mao Sui recommended it was just a joke, and humiliated himself. He couldn't just say anything to anyone, and hesitated to reuse it, so wouldn't it be unfair to those who entered the system before? Although there is no such thing as fair in this world. When the middle-aged Jia surnamed by Beishu heard, his body vibrated at the same time, and his heart was silent. This question is not so easy to answer. I also know that this answer will determine his own position in Yi Tianxing's heart. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to start vote, your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users please read. Closing parenthesis. Chapter 336, Q&A. This question is even harder to answer. The scope of this problem is really too large to have too many variables in it. Even what is said now may be just a kind of empty talk. If it is unrealistic, it will undoubtedly leave a false space in the heart of the future Lord, and it will only make a slapstick. Of course, if the answer is good, it is undoubtedly, their own status will be valued. If today's great changes, it is completely different from the world in which everyone originally lived. All human civilizations and dynasties no longer exist. The integration of all walks of life brings not only the boundless vast world. It also brings all kinds of beasts and monsters, countless aliens. We humans are just one of thousands of races in the eternal continent. Quote, the white-faced scholar first said, although the heavens limit the power that comes, they see and interfere in the fights of thousands of races, but most of my people are physically weak. When they first encounter a change, for those murderous alien monsters, nature has been reduced to blood food, wanton slaughter. This calamity has created our human race and most aliens will be on the opposite side. The situation of the human race can be said to be very worrying. The future situation must be extremely difficult. This kind of troubled world may last for decades, hundreds of years, or even longer, and finally determine the strength of the victory. We will determine the territory. Only then will it become stable. Quote, in his view, this is a troubled world, as if a chicken, duck, and dog were put in a cage, without fighting one, and biting a few, it would not calm down, and it would be impossible to get along peacefully. The eternal continent today is a troubled world. A kind of troubled world attacking each other, every day, the souls falling down are hundreds of millions. This is a tragic process of reshuffle. No one can avoid it, and the human race cannot avoid it. Such an era is cruel and bloody. The strong are destined to survive, and the weak are dejected. The problem of the situation of heaven and earth is now afraid that no one can say that they can understand it. Even if only one corner of the heaven and earth is seen, the flowers are seen in the mist. The situation of heaven and earth is that there are no rules and everything is free to compete in the sky. The strong, and the weak fall. Any race has the opportunity and qualification to become a hegemon. As Wu Shandi said, this is a troubled world. In the troubled world, you see any big world. And Jia believes that the big world only in itself. Quote, the surname of Jia surnamed his middle-aged mouth and said freely, as long as you are strong, the world and the earth will come together naturally. The world and the earth are fighting with each other, fighting with beasts and monsters, and fighting with thousands of aliens. Life and luck are in your hands. The trend naturally rolled in. In troubled times, as long as you are strong, you must take the lead first, then step by step. Thousands of carps are competing for the opportunity to leap into the Dragon Gate. They are the best. The foundation is the most important and the population is the foundation. Quote, the general situation of heaven and earth is troubled times. In troubled times, the strong are king and the weak are food. This is the law of the jungle of red fruit. Weak meat and strong food, but that's it. Even this time, the eternal continent, the integration of all realms, there is no protagonist, everything depends on its own strength. You are strong, you are the protagonist. This is an era when the heroes join together, and Tianzhao contends. They can understand the true meaning of the eternal continent. These two are not ordinary people. These eyes and minds are far beyond ordinary people. Yi Tianxing nodded secretly. When it comes to asking about the general situation of the world, he just speaks, and just wants to hear whether they are really talented or fake talents. If you can't even tell what the situation is today, it is considered talented and limited. In front of them, the scholar Bai was right, but the middle-aged Jia surname looked farther. Everyone is drunk and I wake up alone. This is the vision and mentality of top talents. I don't know the names of the two gentlemen Gao. Yi Tianxing asked with a smile. My surname is Wu, with a single name, said Bai Beishu, smiling slowly. My surname is Jia, with a single name, and the words are in harmony. Jia surnamed middle-aged and said with ease. Ji Duo Xing Wu Yang, poisoner Jia Yi. Yi Tianxing secretly stunned in his heart, his eyes could not help but stare. Who these two are, can be described as thundering. No one is a fuel-efficient lamp. Wu Yang, the third-ranked Tianjixing, Zhiduoxing, and Lingshan Shuibo's #1 military division in the water margin. Moreover, he is full of economics, knows how to martial arts, and is resourceful. He often compares himself with Zhu Liang. As a professor at the wealthy house, he was born with a clear eyebrow, a long face and a long face. He used 2 copper chains to associate with Ji Gai from an early age. He and Ji Gai and others cleverly took the 100,000 birthdays of Liang Zongshu from Damingfu to Kaijing. In order to avoid the pursuit of the government, he went to Lingshan and served as a secret military division for the cottage. Almost all military operations in Liangshan were planned by him. It can be said that Liangshan can grow to the point of threatening the Great Song, and his credit cannot be ignored. Otherwise, how could a group of martial artists do that step? His strategic wisdom and vision are outstanding. Unfortunately, the following prince is not the owner, and the mud cannot help the wall. Only then will they die and suffer bad luck. It cannot be denied that his talents and strategies are also among the best counselors in history. And Jia Yi was even more terrible. Among the 3 kingdoms in the late Han dynasty, it was one of the top conspirators. Wisdom is amazing. Throughout his life, strategies are known for their intrigue. The shot is strange, very poisonous, and any trick can stir the world. At that time, the princes of the 18th Road besieged Dongzhou. After the war, Jia Xishan issued a seal, sealed the princes of the world, sealed the princes of the merged state to Yuzhou, and sealed Yuzhou to Shuzhou. All kinds of edicts directly caused the princes of the world to kill themselves. The world was completely chaotic, and the hearts of people were floating. It exhausted the last vibe of the Han and entered the troubled world. A tactic can cause the world to fall into chaos. It is impossible for Jia Yi to make such a plan without knowing if this plan is actually implemented. What kind of consequences will happen, but this is still the case, and it is conceivable that he has no intention of conscientiousness in his strategy. Moreover, among the counselors, his end was one of the best. It is conceivable how great his wisdom is. Not only IQ, but also transcendental EQ. Before, Yi Tianxing never thought that these 2 people would come. The rejoicing in my heart emerged like a tide. He is feeling that Xuanwang town lacks top counselors. He did not expect that after the war, he was so shocked that he was delivered to the door. Moreover, Mao Sui recommended it to him, so he could not help but feel like dreaming, a feeling of. It turned out to be Mr. Wu, Mr. Jia face to face. If Yi Tianxing offends, don't blame it. Yi Tianxing said quickly, the smile on his face made people feel like a spring breeze, feeling a close. Where, now Jia is just a countryman who wants to be a half-duty official in Xuanwang town, Mayor Yi. Jia Yan's face showed a positive color, and he said quietly, no, don't dare accept me because of rumors of Jia's previous drug dealers. Quote. In words, his face was always glorified. History is just history. Now that all realms are fused, all living things can be said to usher in a new life. Regardless of the past, in this world, there will be a new life and a new journey. The past is not a shackle, the future belongs to us, to everyone, and now to every race on the eternal continent. How Mr. Jia used to be, even if he was called a poisoner, is not a praise to you. Here is a new life. You can choose the future you want. Quote. Yi Tianxing heard and said indifferently. He can accept even Cao Zhengchun, let alone Jia Yu. What fame counts? People who are afraid of fame are nothing more than self-confidence in themselves. Without self-confidence, they can control such talents, fearing that they will be suppressed by their subordinates. Will lose face, will be seized power and so on. That's just mediocrity. I don't know why Mr. Jia chose me Xuanwang Town, and I chose Yi Tianxing. Yi Tianxing asked again, staring directly into the past, looking at those calm eyes. Because only Xuanwang Town has risen in the vicinity, and has become a holy place for human beings, giving them the ability to give hope to them. Within Xuanwang Town, there are not a few human villages, but it is only Xuanwang that can break through into a town so quickly. There is one place in the town, and the heritage in the town is too much compared to other villages, and the luck is amazing. The strength is superb, the most promising is to resist the invasion of aliens, beasts and monsters. It has the most opportunity to become the potential of one party. Jia Yan said politely. Tell me clearly why you chose Xuanwang Town and Yi Tianxing. He did not hide his intention at all. Without this potential, he wouldn't be effective. This point, www.novelhall.com, Yi Tianxing doesn't care about it at all. If he doesn't attract the strength and knowledge of the other party, how can he recruit talents? Without a sycamore tree, how could it attract a real phoenix? This is the same reason. IMHO, with Mr. Jia's talents, ability, and village building order, this strange treasure should not be lacking. Why did Mr. Jia not build the village by himself, become the leader of one party, lead the people to survive, and open up the land of one party? According to Mr. Jia's ability, this should be a very simple matter. Yi Tianxing emerged with a confusion. For such talents, it is absolutely impossible for them to get a village construction order. For the establishment of a village, they will become a party, protect the people, grow themselves, and become the master of the forces. This should be quite tempting. This point can be clearly understood from the establishment of the eternal continent today without knowing how many villages. After all, whoever is talented, no one has a low heart. You will feel that you cannot accomplish a great cause, and you have made a name for yourself. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to start vote, your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users please read. Closing parenthesis. Chapter 337, One Gift. The talents of top conspirators such as Jia Yi are quite amazing. There is a village building order in hand. If you don't set up a village, this will seem intriguing. I have a village building order, and it's still a silver village building order. In the backhand of Jia Yi, a village building order flashing with silver and white light appeared. Obviously, this is something that has been obtained for a long time. But no village was established. My biggest advantage is that I have self-knowledge. Jia said with a smile. I ask myself that the wisdom of strategy is not under anyone. However, I do not have the ability to become a master, the ability to control a force, and let me make plans. It's okay to take care of government affairs. If I build a village, I can do it at the village or town level. But if I reach a real city, or even a county, a large territory, it is beyond my ability. Within range. Quote. Since the establishment of power is not destined to be at the top level, it is better to build it than to build it. If you can't become the top power, you will be assisted by the Lord who is capable of becoming the top power of the eternal continent. Process. I believe it was a very interesting experience. Quote. Jia Yu said calmly, if you can't do it yourself, then you will help a Mingzhu and see that the Lord has established a top power and blessed more people. This is what he wants. You are not the material to become the master of the power, so you don't even establish the village. He has been wandering around, while fighting with beasts and monsters, practicing while observing nearby villages to find out if there is a Mingzhu who can assist him. Xuanwang Zhen didn't find it until he heard that there would be a war with foreigners. Witness the amazing background power of Xuanwang Town. Can create such a heritage in such a short time. In his heart, Jia Yi also has a little admiration for Yi Tianxing. Divine crossbow, rune arrows, bone arrows, shields, and even a large number of runes, powerful arrow towers, magic towers. Each piece made him clearly see how amazing the potential of Xuanwang Town, especially the end of this war, what kind of benefits it will bring, which is an unimaginable one. Leap, the entire Xuanwang Town will usher in an unimaginable rise and growth. If such forces do not join decisively, it is not him. There is self-knowledge, knowledge advances and retreats, decision-making, ingenuity is superb, and the talent is amazing. It is indeed the top conspirator in the three kingdoms who can be like a fish among the princes. Yi Tianxing couldn't help but secretly utter an admiration. Such talents can join Xuanwang town, which is definitely a great benefit, inestimable. Great, I can get two great talents, Mr. Jia and Mr. Wu, really add strength. Yi Tianxing also said with a smile, in words, he has accepted the two without hesitation. The talents delivered to the door naturally have no reason to go out. That's what a fool would do. Jia and meets his lord. Jia Yu heard it, and smiled and bowed to Yi Tianxing immediately. This worship is to thoroughly determine the status of monarchs and ministers. Representing a change of identity. Wu Yong meets his lord. Wu Yong also smiled and bowed to the road. The two gentlemen don't need to be polite. Yi Tianxing did not stop the move. After their ceremony, he quickly said, in my Xuanwang town, there are not many courtesies. Today is a troubled world, in a troubled world, all rules they have been broken, and everything must be simplified. Quote, my heart also began to meditate secretly, what position should be arranged for them. Undoubtedly, they are both strategists, but Wu uses words that are good at using tricks and tricks. But it cannot be denied that he has the ability to deal with government affairs. And Jia Yi, his strategy, clearly outperformed. The planning of Xuanwang town should play a great role. In contemplation, Jia Yan said with a smile, Master, in the troubled times, the population is the most important. Since joining Xuanwang town this time, it is a member of Xuanwang town. As a newcomer, I also prepared a great gift for my father. Quote, I don't know what Mr. Wen said about the gift. Yi Tianxing couldn't help but give birth to a hint of curiosity. I traveled around before. When I first landed on the Eternal Continent, I was rescued by a monk when he was hunted down by a beast monster because of his low strength. He was a green forest hero. When he landed, he was directly with him. The cottages appeared together and did not separate. In the cottages, there were many people, including the original people in the cottages, but also the nomadic people who later gathered and came to this world. The number was not small. Before I left, at least already there are tens of thousands. Quote, furthermore, this host has a daughter, but after the advent, the world changed greatly. In order to protect the cottage, he was wounded by a fierce beast and seriously injured. He is still unconscious. If the host has a way to treat his daughter, if Jia is confident, he can convince them to go down the mountain together and take the people to join us in Xuanwang town. Quote, Jia Yu said slowly, his face was full of confidence. There is such a thing. Yi Tianxing didn't expect Jia Yi to bring him such a surprise. I can't help secretly rejoicing. In a troubled world, what is most important and population is the most important. Only a sufficient population can make a force develop and grow adequately. Really grow up. Go further. There were already so many people in the beginning of the troubled times. Now as long as they are not destroyed, there will definitely be more. If you can join Xuanwang town, it will be a huge gain. It can be said that it has direct benefits for strengthening itself. I have the holy medicine in my hand, which is a treasure of heaven and earth that was born when the world changed. There is also a moon well of Yibao, which can heal the wounds. Dr. Chu and Dr. Wang have begun to practice the technique of alchemy, which can be refined healing elixir. I believe it will not be difficult to cure his daughter. As long as the host is willing to join Xuanwang town, I will not hesitate for some elixir. Quote, Yi Tianxing said decisively, no baby is as important as the population. Population is luck and foundation. Well, okay, then Jia will go to Mujajai. The cottage is not too far from here. Within half a month, he should be able to return. Jia Yan nodded and said directly, this is the meeting ceremony he will bring to Xuanwang Zhen, and it is also a feat. Well done naturally. Go in person to get things done. In the process of migrating, I encountered fierce monsters and even aliens, causing unnecessary damage. After Yi Tianxing groaned slightly, his light flashed, and he took out a spar, which is a bronze spar. The energy contained is more pure and huge. But at this moment, inside, there was a silver-white mark. It kept flashing and smooth, and handed it out, saying, this one is a mark of coordinates. Once you arrive at the cottage and get a reply, once you decide to return, crush the crystal directly, a space door projection will appear. At that time, as long as I enter the space door projection, I can directly travel through the void and return to Xuanwang town, and I will pick up the wind for the gentleman in the town. At that time, Mr. is my chief military officer in Xuanwang Town. The space door can not only be transmitted directly, but also a coordinate mark can be condensed and given to other people. It can be brought into an area that does not exceed a radius of 10,000 miles. After being crushed, a projection can be formed and a connection can be made. However, this unconventional means of transmission requires a tremendous amount of power far beyond imagination. If it weren't for the back of the Hongmeng Tiandi Tower, Yi Tianxing would not be able to open the channel by projection, and it would take a huge cost to maintain it. Generally, monks cannot support it. The longer the distance, the greater the energy consumed. Within a mile, it is the limit that Yi Tianxing can support. Moreover, this is not only its own power. It also needs to consume a lot of Spara's energy, plus the power of the heaven and earth of Hongmeng Tiandi Tower. Don't think about other people. Okay. Thank you, Lord, for giving the treasure. Jia Yan heard, flashing a flash of light on the spar in his hand, and closed it with a smile. With this thing, all the people can be brought back without damage. If you break one, it is an intangible loss. Feng Yumo. Yi Tianxing turned his head and shouted at Feng Yumo, who was cleaning the battlefield below. Subordinates are here. Feng Yumo quickly walked up to the city wall and bowed to ask. You immediately counted out 300 elite soldiers and brought 100 magic crossbows. Mr. Jia was escorted out of town to carry out the task. Yi Tianxing said. Yes, Lord. Feng Yumo didn't ask what to do at all. He promised directly. Even if you die before the battle, you must not let Mr. Jia suffer any damage. Yi Tianxing nodded and said again. Please rest assured that his subordinates will surely die in front of Mr. Jia. Feng Yumo said without hesitation. Jia Yu heard and did not stop. Not long after, Feng Yumo has quickly gone down, counting out 300 elite soldiers, taking 100 magic machine crossbow, a large number of runes, crossbow arrows, rune bombs, etc. www.novelhall.com, a variety of weapons, readily available. Subsequently, Jia Zan no longer hesitated, leaving the town of Xuanwang directly under the guard of the soldiers. It disappeared in an instant. I don't know if Mr. Jia can succeed, Kai Yan muttered to himself. There was also a look of anticipation in her eyes. She knew a lot about Jia Ao. In her memory, Jia Ao was a top counselor. Chapter 337, A Gift. At any time, it is highly praised. He himself convinced that the chances of success were certainly not small. Rest assured, he is not a simple character. With his ingenuity, not 90% certainty, it is impossible to say that this is a great gift. In a short time, we in Xuanwang Town should be able to grow a large number of people again. Yi Tianxing said with a smile. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to start vote. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users please read. Closing parenthesis. Chapter 338, Barracks. There is something going out and it's delayed. The update will be delayed. Close black lens bracket. Yes, Wen Hexiong mentioned before that he had a deep friendship with the Mujai host. At that time, the Mujai host had a serious injury to his daughter and had no intention to deal with the trivial matters in the cottage. Wen and his brother also have high prestige. He wants to serve as a lobbyist, plus the promise of the protagonist's promise to heal his daughter. The odds of receiving this group of people are as high as 90%. Quote. Wu said firmly with his mouth. He knew something about it, because the place where they met was in Mujajai, and he had seen it with his own eyes, and naturally seemed extremely confident. So it seems that we just need to wait here for good news from Mr. Wenhe. Yi Tianxing nodded his head, secretly rejoicing. Master. At this time, Wu Yong looked upright and said, this time, Wen Hexiong has given a big gift, which is enough to increase the heritage of Xuanwang Town. The population is soaring, and the population is based. A great gift, but since it was recommended by Mao Sui, ICA and help the protagonist to see my sincerity. I also have a great gift to the protagonist and to Xuanwang Town. Quote. Mujajai is Wenhe's entering ceremony, solidifying his position in Xuanwang Town. With Jia Yi in front, Wu Yong naturally couldn't say nothing. Although it is not a gift such as population, it is also a gift of astonishing value. Mr. Wu doesn't need to be so. In my Xuanwang Town, there are always capable people. Only merit is given, and there is no need to give gifts to solidify his position. This is completely unnecessary. What Mr. Wen did was just to take advantage of the situation. Yi Tianxing smiled and discouraged. He didn't want this kind of comparison in Xuanwang Town. In order to enter Xuanwang Town, it is necessary to give a heavy gift. If such things are passed on, what is his Xuanwang town and what is his Yi Tianxing? Isn't this becoming a buying official and a selling official? This wind cannot be opened. Otherwise, it will last for thousands of years. For the future, it will become a great hidden danger. The protagonist is more concerned. This is not a comparison, nor a bribe purchase, but this thing, it is useless to me, but it has an extraordinary effect on the protagonist and Xuanwang town. Wu Yang hastily she explained. Oh, I don't know what treasure Mr. said. When Yi Tianxing heard it, he couldn't help but have a hint of curiosity in his heart. Look at your host. Wu took out a small camp-like item in his hand. The whole body shone with different light. In the camp, there was a plaque, and there were 2 ancient urns filled with killings, the military camp. Military camp. Yi Tianxing's eyes were frozen and he uttered a voice. Yes, it is the military camp. Wu Yang said with a smile. This is when I merged into the eternal continent, and found that there is a strange treasure falling from the sky, and it was nearby. I immediately looked for it and found this strange treasure. This is a piece of architectural wonders of different treasures. This is the barracks. This barracks is very magical. It has its own space. It can accommodate a large number of soldiers to enter it. Although it is a square inch, it can accommodate tens of thousands of troops. The greater the number of troops that can be accommodated. The most important thing is that in this barracks, it is possible to gather iron and blood. Quote, as long as all the soldiers in the barracks are trained, they can do more with less. Moreover, they practice military formations, cultivate tacit understanding of soldiers, cultivate military combat skills, and exercises. All have extraordinary effects. In the barracks, there are various training facilities. The speed of training soldiers has increased greatly. It can be described as a treasure place for training soldiers. Such exotic buildings are naturally gifted to the protagonist in order to exert their maximum functions. Quote, in words, he would tell the approximate capabilities of the barracks. Such a different treasure building is an inestimable benefit for any power. No matter it is the Tibetan army or military training, it can have hidden magic effects. To some extent, some interested people cannot even know how many soldiers are in the barracks. This kind of building is only effective for the master of influence. For others, it is just a chicken rib, tasteless and unfortunate. What if such a power building is integrated into Xuanwang town? It represents an infinite future. Good thing. Good item for Yibao military camp. ICA ain't refuse this item, but ICA ain't accept it for free. A yellow order Yibao is also very precious in Xuanwang town. You contribute it, according to the town. The rules will give you a meritorious point. Such an unusual building is extremely precious. When you go to the Tianji Hall to handle the household registration, after you receive the Tianji card, you go to the merit hall and receive 10,000 merit points. Quote, Yi Tianxing said with a smile. Reached for the barracks. There are certain things that must be followed. Now that the system has been formulated, they need to be followed. Although the monetary system has not been thoroughly promoted, the merits of it have already begun to be implemented. After the war, all participating soldiers, even the people, will get merit points. This merit point is received in the merit hall. Xingwang and Qian Tianji are fused together and perfectly integrated. As long as they enter the merit hall, the evil spirit on each person will be revealed. Naturally, there will be more or less exposed evil spirits. You know, this is a law in the dark. When you kill a person, you have evil spirits. The more you kill, the heavier the evil spirits are, and you can't see them with your naked eyes, but there is an invisible layer of blood on your body that really exists. It is as if in the modern times, ordinary people will have an unconscious pressure when facing the butcher. What is this? It is the murderous gas produced by the butcher slaughtering pigs and sheep. This murderous invisibility is invisible, but it can have an effect virtually. Others can't feel it, but Xingwang, Xinghai can feel this murderous spirit and evil spirit by virtue of the Tianji card, and finally evaluate how many enemies have been killed, and then give merit points. This way, it can be said that it is very mysterious, and it can only be achieved by the power of the star network and air transport. There may be better ways in the future, but this way can only be used now. It is possible to put an end to any treacherous behavior and achieve absolute fairness and justice. Even the people in the town are the same. You can get meritorious points by killing alien warriors in the war. The merit point is too much. At least not to mention, many things in the palace need to be exchanged for merit points. In the Tibetan scripture pavilion, a large number of exercises and tactics require merit points to obtain. In general, killing an alien will earn 10 points of merit. Participate in the war and get the most basic 100 merit points. Each additional kill of an alien will increase the merit points. Today, the barracks gained at this barracks reaches a height of 10,000 points. This is definitely a huge resource in Xuanwang Town. Astonishing numbers. In the Tibetan Scripture Pavilion, you can pick a top foundation building method. Various combat techniques can be selected at will. You know, regardless of the merit method, in terms of combat skills alone, most of the price of the yellow rank combat skills are based on 10 points of merit. If the price of yellow rank top grade, and top grade is gradually increased. This is a huge resource. In Xuanwang Town, with the experience of Jia Yi and Wu, it is natural to start exploring some things in the town for the first time. I have also inadvertently heard people about merit points. For the preciousness and use of merit points, it is understood that the number of this meritorious service point is definitely not low. Thank you, Lord. Wu Yong knew that Yi Tianxing could not accept the barracks without a cause and gave me meritorious points, which was tantamount to dedicating himself to Xuanwang Town to obtain meritorious points. The result was the same, and the meaning inside was very different. However, this is the best result. Merit points are naturally good things, and getting this meritorious point can make you stronger. This is an era of spiritual practice, and strength is also an important capital to measure one's status. This is deserved, Yi Tianxing said indifferently. Looking at the barracks in his hand, he was secretly rejoicing. With this unusual treasure building, the army in Xuanwang Town can be better trained and grow. Become stronger. It is entirely possible to increase the cultivation rate again in a short period of time. The most important thing is to be able to confidently gather iron blood, which is of great benefit to the general's training. It can definitely be done thousands of miles a day. This is the iron blood that can be obtained without killing. It can be easily transformed into your own cultivation. Go to me. It's not the first time to get the Yibao building, and you don't even want to leave it. After leaving a mark on it, the general barracks were directly thrown towards the original barracks in Xuanwang Town. It happened that the original barracks had collapsed in the war and became ruins. The barracks sent out a ray of divine light in the air, swelled violently at the speed visible to the naked eye, and became as large as a football field, descending from the sky in a sudden, and falling on the ruins. Brush. As soon as the light fell, the barracks naturally merged with the supreme artifact below. Create a mysterious connection. The mystery of the barracks instantly came to mind. Barracks. Huang Jia Yipan. There is Chengkan, www.novelhall.com, Mustard Nasumi, which can accommodate 100,000 soldiers, contains a variety of training venues, can gather iron blood evil spirits, integrate into the barracks, soldiers trained in them, will naturally come to the iron blood evil spirit quenching refine your body. Strong physical blood, increase cultivation speed. It is of great help to the military formation exercise, and can stimulate the soldiers' heart to martial arts. With the power of concealment, the outside world cannot detect the reality in the barracks, as if covered by a mist. Suddenly, the miraculous effects of the barracks were already in mind. Also recorded by Starnet, Huang Jia can hold 100,000 soldiers in one product. This is already pretty amazing. But it is not so simple to transform. In the barracks, there is a military soul monument. This military soul monument is not only the central core of the iron blood evil spirit. It is also the core of the barracks. To be promoted, you must kill. The whole body of the military soul monument is snow white. It will use blood, and the general soul monument will be dyed red and blood red. In order to get transformed and promoted. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to start vote. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users please read. Closing parenthesis. Chapter 339, Resurgence. At the beginning, the military soul monument was only 1 foot tall. It is not easy to dye the blood completely with blood. The blood drawn by the military soul monument will only be the essence of the blood. It is necessary to slaughter a large number of ferocious beasts, monsters, and even souls to transform the military soul monument, completely dyed red. Moreover, during this process, only soldiers and soldiers in the barracks can hunt. Only those who hunt and kill themselves can be absorbed by the army soul monument. Once in the barracks, a mark is born naturally, recognized by the military soul monument. Although it is only a tall military soul monument, to be completely stained with blood red, I am afraid that at least tens of thousands, even tens of thousands of ferocious beasts, can do it. Barracks exist for the purpose of fighting and killing. This did not surprise Yi Tianxing. The barracks are the basis for fighting the quartet. What they cultivate are the soldiers who kill the logging, hunting for all beings. I really look forward to the transformation of the barracks when they grow up. Yi Tianxing nodded secretly and groaned. The sudden appearance of the barracks also caused a gaze in Xuanwang town. However, seeing changes in the barracks, they also showed a strange look. What a magnificent military barracks! This barracks is natural and has no aura of imagination, and it is very powerful, like a peerless beast, it makes people see it. It is full of fear. Quote, "This should be another treasure of heaven and earth. Just like the Zhangjing Pavilion and Tongtian Pavilion, we don't know what's peculiar about this barracks, which should have a great impact on the soldiers. It's great, there is one more exotic treasure building. The more such buildings, the better, and the more we have in Xuanwang town. This is the unique treasure building that trains the army. In the future, our army in Xuanwang town it will definitely become stronger." Quote. Talks continued to sound. The look towards the barracks has become very different. Many people look towards Yi Tianxing with a kind of worship and fanaticism. Witnessing Xuanwang town's continuous growth and becoming stronger, the kind of worship and respect from the heart has become stronger. Bang bang. At this moment, I only saw that a rush of footsteps was coming at a rapid speed. Wang Dahu, in a battle armor, was rushing towards the city wall, with a hint of joy and solemnity on his face. "Master!" After rushing to the wall, Wang Dahu shouted immediately. "Big Tiger, is there anything important?" When Yi Tianxing saw the look on Wang Dahu's face, he also guessed that something must have happened, otherwise, it would not have been possible to rush to himself so eagerly. However, Wang Dahu, they should be cleaning up the ruins of the town, sweeping the battlefield and the like. Is there any treasure or something changed? Master, before I brought a group of soldiers, and some monks who awakened the Earth's destiny, and chased them along the tunnel where the scorpion evacuated. I wanted to see if I could find their tracks and found some information. When the scorpion left, most of the underground tunnels were destroyed. But we were still traced by some traces, chased past and found a major event. Quote. Wang Dahu calmed down the qi and blood in his body and said quickly. What is it? Yi Tianxing asked, with his eyes fixed. The Scorpion clan dug a large amount of underground space not far from our Xuanwang town, and, inside, there were a large number of human people imprisoned. At that time, I glanced at where the humans were densely packed. I am afraid that there are so many people, there are no less than tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. I have seen with my own eyes that some humans have been killed by those scorpion people, and eat them as blood food. Quote. Moreover, those scorpion races are still discussing to treat those people as sacrifices to sacrifice demon gods. It may take a while before I start. There are too many scorpion warriors, and the soldiers I bring are not enough to compete. Therefore, I returned as soon as possible to report the news to the protagonist. Quote. Wang Dahu said quickly, with a touch of excitement in his expression. This is a major discovery. About 100,000 humans have been imprisoned underground. The significance of this is too great. There are so many human beings imprisoned by the Scorpion clan, and they still have to worship the demon god. When Yi Tianxing heard, he couldn't help but be shocked at the spot. This discovery was really important. The things contained in it are really too big. Once such a large group of human beings can be rescued and integrated into Xuanwang town, the value generated will be unimaginable, and the development brought by them will be inestimable. At that time, the entire Xuanwang town will completely enter a stage of rapid growth and development. No matter whether it is for the future of Xuanwang town or to save the human people, knowing the news, Yi Tianxing didn't have any thoughts to ignore him. General Yang, Yi Tianxing asked Yang Yi to come over. How many soldiers can we still have in our hands? Without hesitation, he asked directly. There are a total of 30,000. The others are either killed or seriously injured and temporarily unable to enter the battlefield. Yang Yi quickly replied that as a general, he naturally knew the number of combatable soldiers in his hands. Otherwise, he is not a qualified general. When Yi Tianxing asked, Lian didn't hesitate and answered it. Gather all the soldiers immediately and bring them into the barracks immediately. Rectify the army immediately, prepare supplies, rune bombs, crossbows, runes, and carry them as much as possible, but do not affect the combat ability. After the reorganization is completed, set off immediately. Kill with me, go underground. Quote. Yi Tianxing quickly commanded. Yes, Lord. When Yang Yi heard it, he promised to open it. He also knew that a large number of humans were imprisoned underground, and that the number was as high as 100,000. No matter from what perspective, it was impossible to turn a blind eye, and it was imperative to rescue. There is no need for other redundant choices at all. One word, fight. All the soldiers, let go of everything and let the barracks gather. Yang Yi quickly ordered. A soldier dropped everything in his hand, and even the soldiers who cleaned the battlefield rushed to the barracks without hesitation. In a blink of an eye, we saw a large number of soldiers pouring into the barracks from all sides. That barracks didn't look big, but no matter how many soldiers went in, there was no picture outside. From the outside, the entire military camp was shrouded in mist. Sudden orders from the town suddenly made many people in the town, even foreign monks, curious and showed surprise. What's going on? Why are all the soldiers gathering in the barracks? Moreover, General Yang directly ordered. Is it because the barracks is a different treasure building, so I plan to let all the soldiers come in and experience it for myself? But it should not be, it would be so urgent, someone murmured curiously. No, there seems to be a sense of annihilation. I feel a breath of war is coming. Is there any war to happen? Just now General Yang seems to have been called up by the protagonist, and then gives an order. Is there any other race? Are you going to kill it? Quote. Some people have different opinions. Feeling a kind of killing spirit when the war came. Interesting, it seems that Xuanwang Town is going to have another big move. Are there any other aliens who don't have long eyes to prepare to attack Xuanwang Town? The Emperor obviously felt a breath of war. A keen sense of scent. Looking at Yi Tianxing, I can feel that there is a killing intention in Yi Tianxing. This is not an unusual action, something must have happened. Brother Yi, I'll go with me too. With my fairy phoenix, it should be able to help. Kai Yi also heard the news that a large number of humans were being imprisoned. Immediately in his mind, he had the picture of being imprisoned by the Xiongnu army. He felt a sense of empathy and wanted to go. No, this time I went to the underground. Before you played the Shanwangchen, it also caused a lot of exhaustion in your body, and it has not been completely recovered. Besides, Xuanwang Town still needs you to sit here to make people feel at ease. Here the role is not inferior to going to the battlefield. Yi Tianxing did not agree, and said directly, moreover, the scorpion has been maimed, and even the scorpion has been severely damaged, carrying an army of 30,000, plus the presence of me, I do not believe, what other cards does the scorpion tribe can withstand the army's attack? Quote. In words, a strong self-confidence emanates. In the previous killing of the scorpion people, the damage was absolutely not small. When underground, it was severely blown once by a rune bomb, with heavy casualties. Later, it fought on the ground. Even if it was separated from the battlefield, it could be kept at a maximum of 1/3. He didn't believe that with the defeated soldiers of the Scorpion Terran, he could still withstand the attacks of the elite army. Well, I'll wait for you here. Kai Yan heard and didn't force it. He nodded and said softly. Rest assured, Yi Tianxing said with a smile. Taking hold of the soft boneless willow waist, he brought the tender body into his arms, hugging each other tightly. Boom boom. Almost a moment, www.novelhall.com, I saw that in the barracks, a team of troops was collapsing neatly. Each of the soldiers was dressed in neat battle armor and holding weapons, and the Shenji battalion carried a large number of crossbows. All kinds of war weapons are equipped on the body. An air of destruction swept the quartet instantly. Let the air almost completely freeze. In this instant, hundreds of people, monks, all secretly stunned, knowing that there might really be a war. This is obviously a gesture of preparing to go to the battlefield, and it is definitely not a joke. 30,000 troops are neatly arrayed. Yi Tianxing stood in front of the army array, glanced at a famous soldier, without any extra words, turned directly, and gave a drink, go. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to start vote, your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users please read. Closing parenthesis. Chapter 340, Cloud Fate. Boom boom. Neat footsteps sounded in front of the barracks, taking the same pace, and walking at the same pace, directly toward the underground hole in the scorpion car such as the Devil Scorpion. Run forward completely in a cross-country running posture. Yi Tianxing came first, followed by Wu Yang. In such a war, Wu Yang, as a military counselor, would naturally not miss such a war. 30,000 troops, rushing into the ground. Upon entering, it was a long, slender underground passage. Under normal circumstances, when Xuanwang Town is completely cast into a supreme artifact, the underground will also become a part of the city, and there will be no way to enter the town by digging through the underground ground. Now it is only an embryo, and it will not be completely blocked. When passing through, it can still be unobstructed. In an instant, 30,000 troops had disappeared from the ground. Sure enough, there was a war. The burrow was an underground passage dug out by the Scorpion people. Before that, the army went to investigate. Now it seems that it should be to find the trace of the Scorpion people and directly dispatch the army to wipe out the remaining sins of the Scorpion people. Quote, "Let's go together. There is a chance of fighting and killing aliens. How can we not let it go? The Scorpion people have been beaten half disabled. Even if they are powerful, they will certainly not be able to withstand the attack of 30,000 troops." Some monks said excitedly, "This is a head-to-head battle. Once you set down the battlefield, I don't know what kind of terrible picture it will be. If you miss this opportunity, you will see it again next time. You don't know how long you have to wait." Someone was excited, shouted. A large number of monks subconsciously began to rush into the underground cave. When I saw such a turbulent scene in Xuanwang town, I couldn't guess that this was a big war. Think about it the same way. Before the aliens attacked Xuanwang Zhen, now take it easy, how can you return it well? The underground passage is not narrow. The monks who have the fate of earth attributes have expanded the passage a bit before, and here, they have been excavated. The expanded width can fully accommodate 10 soldiers. Shuttle quickly inside without being affected. The burrows excavated by the Scorpion clan must also accommodate the army, and it is naturally impossible to be small. Wang Dahu led the way in front of him, leaving a mark in the burrow. There are still soldiers watching. Go forward lightly. When Wang Dahu signaled that he was approaching, Yang Yi quickly ordered. All soldiers are monks, and everyone has a practice. After receiving orders, one by one, they can quickly run their spirits and make their steps lighter. Walking on the ground, there was no sound at all. In their capacity, it is enough to maintain this way for a certain period of time. After a while, he has come to the end of the cave. Can see, as we approach the end, one of the main roads was directly separated by a branch road. Did not follow the main road. Wang Dahu took and walked along the aisle, bypassing a certain distance. The main path was excavated by the Scorpion clan, and once you approached it, obviously, the chance of being discovered was extremely great. This way of staggering the main path was actually very clever. When I arrived at the fork, I immediately saw that a team of soldiers were standing in front of them, and the location of the fork was also extremely hidden. Seeing a large number of troops behind Yi Tianxing, all his faces showed great joy. "Lord, look," Wang Dahu said pointing outside. "A lot of underground space. This underground has been hollowed out by these Scorpion people." It turned out that such a large underground world. Yi Tianxing glanced over, the first impression is big. Appearing in front of him was a huge underground space, so large that at a glance, there was a distance of no less than 3 or 4 miles. To dig such a large area is absolutely a terrible force. A huge project. It's really the Scorpion, a lot of people. When I fixed my eyes again, I immediately saw that in this underground space, you can see that a large number of Scorpion warriors are gathering around. The most central is the Dark Demon Altar. The altar can communicate the demon. This is what I have witnessed firsthand, that power. Yi Tianxing asked himself, if he really wanted to face, he would be suppressed in an instant, and he had no ability to resist. Too powerful and terrible. It is really not something that ordinary people can resist. These don't count. The most terrible thing is that under the altar, there are a lot of poisonous scorpions, densely packed. I don't know where this scorpion came from. The breeds are strange. At a glance, the scalp was numb. Secretly trembling. This is one of the 5 most known poisons. The most amazing thing is that in this underground space, a large number of humans are imprisoned. Those humans are dressed in whatever clothes. There are gorgeous, also coarse linen. There are old people, children, adult men, and young people, women. All of them were imprisoned together, and all of them were thin and yellow. Obviously, what they eat is definitely not a good thing, and it is even more impossible to eat and drink. It's pretty good to be alive. Now, on their faces, there is a thick layer of fear. Obviously, they seem extremely hopeless and dazed about their own destiny. That is the glance that can't see hope. Everyone was numb. When imprisoned, some people resisted, but the end result was just killed and reduced to ****** food. Any rebellion was easily suppressed. These scorpion races are not ordinary monsters but real. A wise race has wisdom, life, and personality. They will not be given any chance to escape. What's more, they are left with some leftovers, and they can't fill their stomachs and can only sustain their lives. Now, the people here almost have no strength to pick up weapons, let alone fight. That is simply impossible. Such a situation brings naturally endless despair and numbness. Okay, I didn't expect those humans to have such strengths. The power of Xuanwang Town really exceeded my expectations. This attack on Xuanwang Town actually made me 100,000 troops, and it suddenly fell to no less than 50,000 to 60,000. Especially the ***** rune bomb. It cost me tens of thousands of troops underground. Otherwise, it wouldn't be possible to fall into this situation. Quote. The scorpion stood pale in front of the altar and murmured, "Fortunately, I was prepared before, leaving behind, those who have been hunted down have left half without sacrificing, just waiting. When something goes wrong, there is still a chance to rise again. As long as the remaining human beings are sacrificed to the devil will help me to evolve tens of thousands of troops again. Tens of thousands of scorpion people. My scorpion people will become this world, the most powerful race." Quote. In the eyes, not only a touch of confidence and enthusiasm were revealed. This belief is extremely firm. He believes that the scorpion race can certainly grow and grow in his hands and truly grow into a top race standing on top of the million races. Don't be afraid of any big enemy. And all this starts with the human slaves in front of them. Use their flesh and blood to shape the glorious future of the scorpion. Get ready to bring me humans and sacrifice the demon. Evolve new people for us. The scorpion took a deep breath, spoke flatly, and issued a command. The number of these scorpion races is still huge. It seems that there are no less than 30,000. Moreover, the breath is very stable. They should be elite. Moreover, there are scorpion warriors on the periphery. There are no flaws to find. Wu Yong also glanced at the following scene, slowly turning his thoughts in his head, slowly speaking. Even if it was underground, these scorpion clan did not lose their due diligence, and the soldiers inspected one after another. It can be said that it is heavily guarded, and sneak attacks or other things are difficult to play its due role. A large number of human beings are now imprisoned by the scorpion. I'm afraid that if we kill them, those aliens will be in danger, and the jade will burn, and they will directly attack those people. But there are more than 100,000 people. Everyone is extremely valuable. A loss. This operation will not be a real success without their safety. Quote. Yi Tianxing frowned slightly. If there were not a large number of people in the hands of the scorpion, he could directly order the killing, and he would not be afraid of killing directly. He was afraid that the asshole, the scorpion, would slaughter the people endlessly. This is not what he wants to see. Of course, if you can't find a way, you can only choose to force a raid, and you can save as many people as you can, which is better than being sacrificed to the devil by all the scorpion people. These aliens are obviously going to sacrifice people. This is absolutely unacceptable to Yi Tianxing. These people are all my precious wealth belonging to Xuanwang Town. How can I be sacrificed to the demon of shit? Yi Tianxing secretly came up with an idea, www.novelhall.com, Lord, I have a destiny, it can condense the fog. With my cultivation as the realm, this fog can last only about a T. With all your strength, you can cover the entire underground space. As long as you take advantage of this time, you can kill other aliens by killing them in the area where people are imprisoned. I have observed the position of imprisonment near a mountain wall. As long as the nearby aliens are killed as quickly as possible, most people can be saved. Lift your worries. Quote. Wu Yong said suddenly. There was also a life awakening in him. This fate is called clouds and mist. In the beginning, the fog can only be condensed, and over time, it is deepened, and the area covered by the condensed fog is wider. After reaching a certain level, the condensed fog can even have various terrible ability. For now, the dense fog can make it difficult for monks to see the surrounding scenes clearly. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to start vote, your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users please read. Closing parenthesis.